Alright, hello, and welcome back again to something I have not done in a very long time, which is Gravity Rip. I'm sorry to hear that, Buddha. Yeah, I feel you, though. Yes, Gravity Rip, this tabletop that I didn't actually forget about. This is probably going to be the first series of a tabletop that I am GMing, so there's very likely to be many errors that I have not accounted for, because it's been over probably about 6 months since my last go. So for those of you watching on YouTube, it has been a while. I think I've even got a new mic in that time, and there's a whole lot of new stuff going on. You know, a new monitor. Hi. But yes, hi. Hopefully, this will all go well, and that things won't totally cock up. Speaking of cock-ups though, it appears... Oh, no, it just pinged. Okay, I won't need to kill a bot today. That's grand. Oh dear. But yes. Gravity Rip. In case you don't know it, this game is a tabletop role-playing game. It is a game about space racing. To put it long story short, it's racing in space. Basically, you're driving tank-sized vehicles along death-defying tracks and trying not to die at the same time. And so the trying part, since unfortunately there are some people who pass, but that will probably come up later. Yes, just to mention as well, for all you know, clarity's sake, during the stream I won't really be interacting with the chat. I like to try and focus as much as I can while I do my GMing, because I'm not good at it, but I just enjoy doing it. So here you go. But yeah, so if I don't see everything in the chat and I don't comment on it, I do apologize. However, I might take a little peek every now and then, since I now have another screen that allows me to peek. So, you know, you might not be safe. I know, how dare me, eh? Anyway, with that all being said and done, how about we take a peek over to our Gravity Rip screen? Oh yeah, that's another thing as well. I'm pretty sure I've disabled alerts. Now, that is evidence I have not. Fuck it, let me... Okay, little bit longer, you know? You got me, you motherfucker. Alright, let me take a fucking drink then. Alright,
so,
fuck off, Twitch.
For me,
no! I don't play Black Desert, I'm really not interested. Let me fucking... Okay, it's really scuffed. Fuck it, it's fine. Take a drink, I will. Thank you. But look, let me get this sorted, I just needed to save my rewards really quick, and it'll be good to go. Good to go. There we go, disable. Yes, perfect, disable that. Now hopefully you can't do that. Great, yeah, no, you are now forced to watch. Sorry, I do apologize about that. We'll get into this now, let us go ahead and show off the Gravity Rip screen. Everything is being shown off right, I love it. Great, okay, nice. Now, as you see, this is our old Gravity Rip screen. We have our players currently muted up at the time, and I am deafened. We will go ahead and undeafen in a moment to introduce them to all of you. Let's go and say hi. Hello.
Well, hello there.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Been a while.
Yeah, a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Oh, not unreasonable.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for coming back. But a lot of people probably didn't think we were doing a second one after how long I left it, but here we are. So yeah, in case there are people out there who don't know who you are, how about we just start by introducing yourselves? So maybe we go from left to right, starting with the one with a bit of a rat-like feature.
Do I introduce myself or my character?
I'd say call yourself Cheese and go from there. We'll get to characters in a
Hello,
second.
I am Cheese.
Brilliant, thank you. Anyway, who else do we have?
Hey, I'm Guybot.
Perfect.
People also seem to call me Nick.
Oh yes, that
For
too.
reasons that escape me.
Never know. Oh dear. But yeah, anyway, thank you for coming back. I guess I probably won't delay it too much longer, but obviously we are all a bit rusty, so we'll see what we can do, eh? Right, so, how about, before I get into it too much, I put on the music for starting off a bit more chilled, because, you know, we don't go into a race straight away, we have a few more things to do. So, why do I hear it? I fucking hear the music, motherfucker. This is so scuffed, and I'm
Music is
so
supposed
sorry.
to work chaos.
But here's the thing, I'm not meant to hear it since it distracts me. I'm so sorry. I'm very scuffed today. Because I was testing the music out like, okay, this gotta work, this gotta work, this gotta work. Okay, that probably works, that's great. Man, I am not on the ball. Holy shit, I am horrific at this. I will be just one moment. Oh, fuck me. Okay, monitor off. There we go. Great. So now the stream can hear it, and if you guys want to play your own version of music, you can, but great. Fuck. Let's start this. Let's fucking start. As you all know, you all are denizens of the Crater City, effectively the hub for League Racing, something you've only recently participated in. Without going too much into the events of the last race, our dear players here were able to get podium positions. Certainly nothing to scoff at, especially bearing in mind you are only just starting out in your career on a fresh new team, making a very bold approach to everything. So, let us talk about the events afterwards. It's probably been about a week or so when we are catching up with everyone, and unless there's anything else you want to particularly talk about, I could imagine that there is something that had to happen relating to the late super speed. So, I guess I'll leave it to you. I guess I'll leave it to you, Hyperspeed, a bit more, because why don't you tell me a little bit about this funeral event and what really happened?
Apologize for that. Give me a sec.
Yep, don't worry.
Well, soon after the race and the explosion, we had a smaller funeral outside of the press's eyes, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. I probably imagine as well, like a few of the veterans from the Racing League would probably have come around, like old friends of your father's, and just paying their respects. I guess to sort of give a bit of a description as well. Whilst it is very much a small funeral, there is a very large centre area for the coffin, or what it's meant to be. As you might imagine, when a gravity grip engine does explode, it's not a pretty affair. And matter becomes melded, combining organic and inorganic, and needless to say, it's not really a matter of getting the body, it's much more compacting the remnants of the coffin, well, the car into a coffin, so you know that there's some of it in there somewhere. The car has been turned into a coffin. It's
In other
not
words,
pretty.
basically the only way to recover anything organic would be with wet vac.
Yes, exactly. And even with that, it's an ordeal that maybe is not worth the time, so usually they just have a very specific machine to basically crush a car into a coffin shape, because they know there's at least something in there. Like, you know, a little bit of brain matter or something. There was something in there, at least. So, that is what is currently just sitting in the main area as everyone's sort of milling around. Kosh, I assume that you probably came to the funeral as well?
You know what? Typically, Kosh doesn't care about such things, but he's making an exception.
Very well then. Yeah, Mortimer was unfortunately too busy, so they had some work business to be dealt with. But unless there's anything you two would like to have done during this session, I guess we can move on to present day. Alright, perfect. If no one doesn't say anything, then let us get to the day. So, as you both know, you did pretty well in your races, so it needs to say, it's turned a few heads. People in the presses are like, hey, you know, isn't that guy? Is it that guy? Yeah, you know, the robot-looking guy. Yeah, the son of Super. You know, there's a few heads being turned. There is obviously some other news as well that is a bit more disturbing, but that's probably something to be caught onto later. But for now, you are actually in a bit of a nicer hotel, as Mortimer has decided to treat you all to a 6-star out of 13 hotel. So you actually do have a possibility for a tiny bit of room service here this time, as opposed to just a motel. But, either way, you're all sitting around and waiting. You haven't really gotten a call from Mortimer yet. From what you generally have gathered from Mortimer, they're very much a person of action who kind of doesn't quite contact you unless they really need you. They're not really there for the whole, support aspect. But you're pretty certain they're probably out there trying to get you a race. But you now have a few days if you want to maybe go around the market, do anything else. Kosh, you might want to consider checking back on your car after your sponsorship deal. And Hyper, if you have any other business as well you'd like to do with Kosh, there's a quick interlude for now, if you'd like to.
I think Hyperspeed, while waiting, suddenly remembers a note he has been given.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only it's rare to usually have paper notes nowadays because paper was basically exiled from most people's hands unless you're in a particular bracket. So having an actual paper note is quite interesting to have in a great city. So you have to assume it's something mildly important, especially if it's going out to your friend.
Kosh doesn't really have anything to say right now. He's just sort of sitting there in the room,
Yeah, fair enough.
plotting.
Yeah, I guess to ask then, are you guys planning like sitting around the hangar, just like waiting for when your next race is?
Oh, not completely. I might check
Okay.
back on the Sanguine in a bit.
Right, got you. Fair
But
enough
as far
then.
as it goes, the ship can fend for itself if it needs to.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably then say like a few extra days go by after the funeral until probably around afternoonish kind of time. You both get a message on your telecommunication devices by Sumatra, branded, coming from one MT, who you obviously know is Mortimer Hansen. It's quite a brief message. It simply says, "Got a race. Come to the hangar." There's not a lot of flair to it. It doesn't say what time. It just says come. So, it's up to you whether you want to go right now or a bit later, but with that prompt, I will also say as well, hangar security right now, you're fine. You don't need to do any special things to get through it, you can just walk through. So you don't need to worry about any other extra little security measures unless you want to be more stealthy going in.
We do not concern ourselves with concealment. We will leave at the hour of pestilence.
Which hour is that?
It is at that... What?
Which hour is that, out of curiosity?
Oh, just when all the people are there.
Very much then, yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. You probably got to mess around like
And-
2-ish, so maybe at like 3-ish is probably a decent time. That's probably when like a lot of people are moving around.
And unless Hyperspeed has no business to conduct with me, I go over and actually do check on my ship. Just making sure it hasn't eaten anyone or something.
Yeah, fair.
I think while we're leaving, I will hand you the note.
Here's correspondence. This is for your eyes.
I was
Yes.
just given this.
Kosh opens it and reads the contents.
Very well. The contents are no more than about a paragraph, but from what you can surmise is that it's clearly from the large stony figure that you spoke to at an earlier period. You probably know them as the agent. The letter is pretty brief, just saying that at some point in the future they would really like to talk with you again, but for now, Platy must be left alone. They are unfortunately wise to what is perhaps going on. However, if you are able to get any information about them, whether that be just in the race or outside the race, anything about their general scheduling, they would be happy to compensate you for your efforts. They leave a number as well on the piece of paper should you ever need to contact them. So, you now have, a contact way, as well as potentially a small thing to catch on to later as an optional task. But the note is very brief in that, and it's also typed up as well, so you can't really get anything about handwriting or anything like that. It's just very blank and bare. This is what it is. Have fun if you want to try and give it a go.
You see all of Kosh's eyes squint at this paper. He doesn't really say anything. He hands the note back to you, and then he leaves the building. He goes to look for the stony figure.
Alright. I will say, this note was given probably a fair few days ago, so you can probably look around for a while, but you're not gonna find much. From what you've generally gathered with this figure, it's as much more they'll find you more than you find them. But the fact that they even left you a phone number is a bit more unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like
Josh
there's just
doesn't
a...
really use the phone, so
Yeah.
he's just going to wait for this to happen.
Fair enough then. Yeah, it's not like just a random rock guy like reading a newspaper on a bench outside. It's unfortunately not that simple.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're making your way to the hangar, there is obviously some stuff going on there. But just to sort of explain your cubicle a little bit, it's been slightly more decorated by Hyperspeed's recommendation for a new color. The light blue of the probably old team that was occupying the cubicle, it's now been changed to a very vivid purple color. You see much more like purple regalia around with some very corporate logo and branding around of the Sumatra Telecommunications Limited company. Many little logos have been put around the insignias, and just to off to the side as well, you can actually see Mortimer themselves sitting in a very large ornate chair. Very plush, perhaps even real leather. Mortimer themselves wearing actually some more casual clothing this time, only a suit and, well, you know, a suit shirt and trousers. Still quite ill-fitting, but either way, they're a bit more casual, but they are very much lounging in the chair. You can't quite tell if they have their eyes shut or not because they're wearing sunglasses, but in front of them, they also have two fold-out chairs. But that's off to the side. If you'd like to see your cards, you most certainly can.
Josh just sort of hovers there, taking in the scenery, trying to decide if the small ape creatures are trying to emulate, you know, Ethereum's sense of elegance or not.
What you can get from a chair is that if you're trying to like look into the chair and like see like, okay, how good is it? It's probably something you would have gotten like maybe a few decades ago, but it hasn't seen good wear. Like, it looks impressive from a distance, but as you get closer, you notice a few more tears, a few more rips. Something that was probably just a bit cheaper, more, and maybe a bit even, like, thrown out more than anything. Like, there's no, you know, ornate gold or anything. It's maybe even just, like, a bare oak as a sort of a woodwork on it. But, you know, it seems like a comfortable, well-worn chair, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks at this, but he still prefers his encounter suit, so...
Very well.
He's not about to tell his manager that, of course, unless there's a reason for it, but...
Yeah, Woodmer hasn't caught you yet, really, so you're free to do as you like in the hangar. Your cards are just off to the side if you feel we need to check them at all, or anything like that.
I hover over to my car, my eyes turn green, and I begin discussing things with it.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything, but you can tell there's communication.
Yeah, there's a bit of communication. Suppose just another thing to note, you have a bit of a sponsorship, don't you? You have a foreign object attached to the top of your car.
Yep.
That seems to be fitting in there pretty well. However, if you are taking a look over it, or even through your communication, you sort of learn that at first Bumper tried simply taping it down, it didn't really stick. He then tried nailing it down, that did not work either. That just really seemed to make the problem worse, until eventually they sort of just slapped it on there, and it just seemed to sort of meld perfectly within. Even though the sign itself is made more out of metal, it seems as though the actual metal parts that are in contact with the car like became discolored a little bit to then connect more and blend. But it seems relatively sturdy. There's a little bit of leeway, but let's say for the sake of mechanics, if you are slammed or slamming, if you roll lower than if you roll a 2 or lower, that sign will come off.
Oh, okay.
So that's just the idea of your little sponsorship deal, where as long as the sign stays on during a race, you'll get discounts from Bumper. So it's a consideration really on whether you want to risk the sign coming off or whether you don't really care about getting some upgrades, but as long as that sign's on, Bumper's in your good graces.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But anyway, that is really most done with your car. If you want to take a look around it and see if it's been sabotaged or anything, you can do a check of that if you'd like.
I think I am going to double check that, actually.
Right, perfect. Roll me... How are you checking your car out of curiosity? Like, are you just like giving it a few taps around, feeling it on a more instinctual level, or are you doing a careful analysis of everything?
Lotus is going to tell me if there was anything foreign installed.
Okay. Unless you can say, like, I'm sort of wanting to say it's more of a chaos check, because it's much more of a feelings-based system. but if you can try to persuade me to have it be more theory, I'm all down for it.
Lotus is an intelligent creature as well. You know, it's just it consciously doesn't function on the same level as other carbon-based life forms because it is an engineered being. So it does have a certain level of intelligence for all intents and purposes, but it's basically no more intelligent than, say, an advanced AI being installed on a starship. It's basically the same general motif. The only difference being that it uses organic components such as eyeballs, nerves, and such that, as opposed to sensor devices.
Right, okay. Yeah, you know what, you explained it well enough. Give me a theory check. So you are looking to roll above or equal to your number, which is 2. So if you just roll 1d6 for me, and I can see how you do. Oh yes, the first roll of the day as well, so let me just hit a few V's in.
Okay.
Because I always fucking do this everywhere. It's totally not an issue that I have. I can stop whenever I want. Go ahead.
Straight 1d6?
Yep, just a straight 1d6. 4. Perfect. So you have rolled over your number. You basically get a diagnostic report from the Lotus. And as far as you can tell, there wasn't really any tampering. You actually get very specific times of when people even came into the hangar. Like Mortimer appeared to have arrived like maybe an hour ago or something like that and just sat in the chair and hasn't moved since. When Bumper obviously was doing things, they caused a tiny bit of damage to the top, but that has recently been healed up. So that isn't anything to worry about. There wasn't anyone else unexpected interacting with the car either. So from what you understand, your car should be perfectly fine.
Okay.
Perfect. Righty. Hyperspeed.
Josh bows his head at the car.
There's a recognition between that. But, yes. Hyperspeed. Anything you'd like to do?
Yes. As we enter the hangar, I walk over to my car and hastily check it while looking around.
Right, got you. Yeah. Are you checking for anything in particular, or just see if it's been generally tampered with?
Just making sure it's not anything wrong.
Okay, fair enough. Are you rolling this in a passionate way or in a more analytical way?
I think it's more passionate.
Right, fair enough then. In that case, I need to roll a chaos check. You need to roll below your number or equal to it. Those chaos checks always go down, and fury checks always go up. So if you could roll 1d6 for me. I'll also say as well, oh, there we go, perfect. That's unfortunately not what you need.
Yes.
Yep.
One time good rolls dick us over.
Yep, that's the thing about this. There's only a few occasions when you need a low roll, and we've seen it before with different races. Yeah, things don't go right. But, you know, you're taking a look over your car. This is a pretty bad fail, actually. You're very frantic in looking over it. Like, you're moving a bunch of dust over it. You're then, like, rubbing one tiny little spot in the car. Like, just a very tiny bit that could have been just a fly that was atomized. You get really worried about this. You're like, okay, why is this here? What is this doing here? Why is this here? Like, it's on the windshield, but like, what if that's going to distract me? Like, what am I going to do with this? You're definitely a bit unnerved now. But for all intents and purposes, you don't notice anything wrong with the car. So you feel like it should be okay, but there's just that sense of something wrong. You can't quite shake it. But that's your inspection of the car. I guess to give a bit of extra detail as well, the hangar currently right now is more in the phases of people getting done with their shifts. So you've got a few other teams milling around, like a few different banners, like some whites, some greys, some yellows. You see a variety of banners and a variety of races kicking around. None really paying you any mind. They're more just doing their machines. And as you know, gravity racing happens all day, every day. You just don't need to be in every single one. But, you know, it's not like it's a dead quiet area. It's a bustling area. You're just in a cubicle that's a bit more quiet than others. A bit more tucked away. Perhaps to Mortimer's preferences. Sorry, I'm having a terrible time talking. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, your cars are fine.
Alright.
Yes, this works for us.
Indeed. Anyway.
I guess I'll walk over to Tansen.
He's not paying any attention. He's just laid back, sprawled out in the chair. You notice he's having a bit of a struggle against his weight. But, you know, it's supporting.
tense.
Go ahead.
Hello. Kind of wave my hand in front of his face.
Kosh floats up to where you guys are.
I think he's asleep.
Awaken, mortal.
What? No, no, goddamn choked. Oh, hey, excuse me. Sorry, I was waiting for a while and, right, how y'all doing? You doing good?
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, well, you know, Raisin will do that. I'm glad you came back though. You know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, really showing up your dad proud. Sorry, by the way, sorry I couldn't attend the funeral. You know, had some business going on that day and just couldn't miss out. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Oh wait, I was watching your cards. No one tampered with them. Should be all fine. Right. Anyway, sit down, take a seat. I'll explain to you the race that we got going on if you're ready for it, or you know, ask me some other questions if you want to. I'm always down to communicate with my team because after all, we're doing pretty well right now. As you can see, got a bit of a decorum going on. A few more people turning their heads around our way. You know, as an upstart, we really made a mark. Yeah, no, come on, take a seat, take a seat.
Just sort of. Kosh hovers over the seat.
Yeah.
He does take it. The tendrils come out. The seat disappears into the cloak. Nobody can tell where. It is gone.
Yeah. What about your sort of looks and goes, yeah, you're on the seat, it's fine. Right. Anyway, I got a handy dandy smart board fitted in, so give me a moment. He clicks a small remote button and a small screen comes down. Nothing holographic, it's literally just a smart board. On it, you see a vast amount of different bits of information, pictures of a planet, as well as multiple different turns in a track. And Mortimer begins to speak. Okay, so the race that I got for you today, I was able to get through the grapevine a little bit when it came to the different racing and what is available. It's gonna be coming up in about 2 days, so you got some time to prepare. But what we got going on here is a race on a planet known as a 6-2 he pulls out a piece of paper 3A-B. I've never heard of it either, but it's very cold. So maybe that's why. I don't know if it has anything proper about it, but it has a giant track around it. It's probably one of the larger tracks in the entirety of the league, but they still do 3 laps on it. It's not one of the special 4 or 5 lap ones, so you don't need to worry about that too much. The only thing I'd say is watch out for some of the ice in the areas, and as you can see, there's a few little corkscrew turns that you can easily take someone over, but you can easily lose control over it as well. So, you know, you might hit a barrier a little bit harder than you might intend. But aside from that, that is generally the idea of a race. That'll be happening in obviously a few days' time. I'll give you a reminder in your calendars just so you know exactly when. But here's the thing, right? We did really good last time, so we already got our podium positions. We don't need to worry about that too much. I want something else. Now, as you all probably know, there's been some instance of racers being eliminated by unusual mannerisms. Obviously, if there was super speed, they were eliminated before the race could even start. And then there was another racer from another team called Phenar, I believe it is, or Sadie Danzel. She was eliminated actually after the race when she was using her car to transport her family. It was a freak accident apparently, but a lot of people are talking about that because, you know, stuff like that doesn't happen outside of the races. So I want you to make something happen in the race to get people more comfortable again. I want one racer retired. So find your target, knock him out a few times, and hope if they actually do with Jack. Since I'm not planning to murder anyone, but if it happens, it happens. I just want to see a racer that gets knocked out so I can then, you know, give a bit more understanding to the sponsors that this is a safe, well, it's not safe, it's a contained sport. It doesn't happen all the time outside. I want them to try and stop worrying about all the deaths on the outside. How's that sound?
Your motives are dubious.
Yeah, well, it's racing. Everybody knows that there's a chance that you're gonna go out here, and people have been slamming into you as well. Like, I don't know, if you thought it was a highly moral environment, but this is what it is. It's just do what you can, and trust me, it would look a lot better.
If the calling of the soul is not fulfilled, then the soul is not complete.
Right. I'm gonna pretend that I understand all the things you said there, but look. If you can take out a racer, this is gonna help us out more as a team. But then we're able to get back confidence in the Gravity Rip League, because I got a few people and a few contacts in the league who are worried about these other accidents going out. They want focus drawn back into the merchandisable areas going on, so as you know, you get paid a bit more based on who you slam and who you can retire. You get a bit of a paycheck, we get a bit more confidence from the league, we get more support. So better races in the future, you see what I'm saying?
Last time Etherians tried to play God, there were consequences that spanned beyond this universe.
Oh, I'm not trying to be
only a
God.
small portion of that very same instance.
Right. Well, if it means anything to you, I'm not trying to play God. I'm just trying to say that if you can get a racer out of a race and maybe, start a little bit of a get that in the papers a bit, then that's fine. You don't need to murder anyone. I'm not saying that. You don't need someone to die. Just, retire. That's all. Just get their car, go down to 0, get them out of the car, easy. That's all you need. And also, if you can finish above 12, that'd be great, but mainly it's a racer being able to be taken out that I'm really wanting to focus in on. Because that puts us in good leagues with the league. You understand?
Cautious, silent.
We'll just sort of looks and goes, well, no one say no. Right, perfect. Well, that's basically brief. I'll put into your calendars when the race is, so make sure you hear about Arrow 2 earlier. I'd say as well, just obviously watch out for some of the other races that you might have angered last time, or I haven't heard anything about them, but you never know. Some races hold a grudge. I heard one of them tried shanking one of the people in another team a while ago. Not even because of race, they just fucking hated them. But so, watch out. There are people who are a bit more dangerous around you. You got some old, wartime vets. So be careful who you make friends and enemies of here. I'd say that because obviously you guys are a bit more new to the major leagues, and this is what I'm hearing. It's a bit of a shaky time right now, as you can probably imagine.
I just kind of look at hyperspeed.
Yeah, Hyperspeed, you down for this? You ready for a race?
I guess.
Alright, perfect. That's what I need to hear. Yeah, so I'll get in contact with some more responses and just say that we're down trying to, help out the league a bit more. And, yeah, we'll see all of you in about 2 days and, 17 hours. So you got a bit of time if you want some downtime or anything, but, don't go too far. Please don't go too far. Anyway, do what you need to do. I'm gonna watch the cards a bit more and make a few phone calls. One of them proceeds to close up the board and get back onto their phone as they sort of walk a bit more further out of earshot, just away. And they sort of just leave you to your own devices.
Is there anyone around the hangar?
Are you looking for anyone in particular, or just a person, really?
Just if there's other people around.
Oh yeah, so, yeah, there are still people around the hangar. Like, there's people walking by your cubicle, walking back from it, there's people just bustling around. Like, there's different races, there's different team reps, all different types of people around. You might even see a few VIPs are just skulking around. Funny enough, you actually see what you could only really describe as one of the racing supervisors, sort of just looking around at the cars, actually, just sort of going line by line.
Right.
Yeah. They appear to be quite disgruntled, really. They're sort of like taking a bunch of notes, and you don't really hear what they're saying, but they seem to be shaking their head constantly.
Can I try to not approach them, but to get closer so I can hear what they're saying?
Yeah, you certainly can. Just for the hell of it, could you make me a theory check? So all I need you to do is roll, what was the number for it? Higher than your number, or equal to it. And then, let's just see if you can successfully sneak up on them. Alright, you do. Perfect.
Wow.
So, yeah, no, you do it. So, you sort of noticeably go car by car. They even start coming towards your cars, actually. That's why you're probably able to quite easily sneak up, as they're sort of coming over to your hangar area, and you sort of just hear them murmuring to themselves a bit more. You sort of hear,
No, no, no. God damn. No, no. This won't do. This won't do. This won't do. God damn. Nope. Nope. I need to talk to one of these guys. No. No. No, that's gonna be destroyed. No. No.
it's just a lot of noping and very intense analyzing of different cars.
See.
Yeah. Eventually they sort of start coming over to your cars as well. They would probably start to notice you unless you want to be specifically hidden.
I'll stay standing.
Alright. Yeah, fair enough. They sort of go over, they keep repeating their same things, and they seem to clock you and go,
Oh, hey kid, can you do me a favor? Look, can we chat maybe a bit later? I need to do some stuff that I think is shit. That I need someone who's competent to do it, and I'm just gonna need your help. It's a shit time.
You sort of see like the appearance of the person. They're somewhat robotic, but also like maybe like almost cyborg in their ways. But you can't quite place an age, but they seem very much worn down with bits of rust around them, holding like wearing a very visible safety vest, a yellow safety vest, of course. And they sort of just like look at you.
Yeah, I think.
They sort of clock you and give you a nod and go,
Great, okay, so when you leave, I'll just clock you for a moment. I've got to do a few more checks around here, but I'll chat with you in a moment. Cheers. A lot of the guys don't want to talk to me about things, so I appreciate you do. Just give me a minute, I need to relax.
and they just pull from their pocket like just a little hip flask and just down all of it and start walking off.
Oh.
So, that is another person that is probably, catching your eye. Anyone else you're really looking for, or are you just taking it easy right now?
I guess I go back to the city near Tansen.
Yeah, fair enough. If you want to as well, there's obviously some bits around the cars that you want to inspect, but yeah, aside from that, the hangar obviously is still a general activity area for now. It's just down to you if you want to interact with more people or not. Or if you want to, you can leave.
The race isn't a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, you got a few days actually until the race.
I'll wait and see what Kosh does.
Yep, fair enough then. Skosh, are you sending you right now?
Yeah, at the
Right,
moment.
Perfect.
Just
Great.
sort of vibing with the vehicle.
Yeah. I don't know if you really noticed it, but obviously, Higher Speed had a chat with just one of the security safety workers just milling around, but there ain't really much to take a note of unless you're really looking for something. So unless you want to go looking about anything, it's up to you. Like, there is a variety of things that if you want to try and do stuff during these like sort of downtime events, if you want to, like you can go to different areas, maybe try to get more info on different people. Maybe look for other avenues of trying to find ways to get different mods and things like that. Or just try to make connections if you want to. If you just want to try literally anything, I can probably find a way to facilitate it. Or if you just want to go back to your hotel and sleep, that's also up to you.
First thing I'd like to do is I want to actually look for an information terminal if such a thing exists.
Okay, are you talking about like an information terminal on the building, or like people inside, or...?
The people inside, actually.
Alright, gotcha. Yeah, I would say that if you're looking for information on people inside, you probably need to talk to the actual security bot at the door. They are the person that sees everyone go in and go out. That's probably going to be the key thing, but I also just want to remind all of you as well in this time that you have downtime. You have a bit of a reputation, you know, you're a little bit of hot shit. You got podium positions in your first ever races, so, you know, a few people might just look at you and nod and give yourselves a bit more leeway. So feel free to use that to your advantage when it comes to a reputation role. But yeah, if you want to find out like people who are in the building and like people who have clocked out, you can most certainly ask the entry bot.
In that case, I address the entry bot.
Right, fair enough. You start making your way over, and even before you begin conversation with them, they immediately clock your presence. And they just sort of turn to you. Yes.
I seek the entity who calls itself Platy.
One moment. Checking database. I just sort of mill over a moment and you see a variety of lines just start going through their face. Data expunged.
Sponge. No, he is a racer.
Data expunged. No Platy has entered.
I was just squinting at this point. He then tries to reach within the machine to erase the record of the inquiry.
In that case, I would like to get a theory check out of you.
1d6?
Yes, do a 1d6 and you need to roll above your number. Do bear in mind as well, if you believe your reputation as a bit of hot shit could help, feel free to let that help you a bit.
I'm not against the idea there.
Like, would you say that maybe there's a way that your reputation could aid your relationship with this bot?
Oh, that's turbo shit.
If you, like, usually you're meant to do your reputation rolls before you usually do your rolls, but if you want to right now, just because, you know, this is the first time really doing it, tell me how you think your rep as one of the podium races could help. You know, you're only as famous as your last race, so anything that could help out here, let me know.
Asha's experience with humanoid ego is limited. So he's really basing all of this off of what he's observed from others. So he's going to do his best to exert a certain amount of ego, or at least mimic it as much as he can.
Yeah.
But also, this machine is considerably more primitive than that of Etherean technology.
Oh yeah.
So, realistically speaking, under any other circumstance, it wouldn't be difficult for him to do this, but the machine is still operating, so...
Yeah, and I'd say as well, bear in mind your reputation as well, like, it's not more that the robot is more considering it, I'd say people around you are not exactly, you know, eyeing you up as though you're a target. They just think, oh yeah, no, that's a cool guy, that's a cool guy. So yeah, tell you what, give me another roll, and let's see if you roll better.
And that's another 1d6, right?
Yep, just another 1d6. So basically, if you can attach your reputation to a roll, you basically roll at advantage. So it'd be very handy when it comes to these out of race areas.
All right, let's see how this goes.
Yep, that is a lot better. Right. So you sort of reach in with this robot to try and delete the sort of data banks. You sort of go through and you can find the part where you have your conversation. It's just sort of logged in as a general inquiry. Would you like to delete that?
Yes.
Right, very well then. You delete that. And as you're sort of scrolling through, you do notice, however, that the name Platy does appear. Is that how it sort of seems like it's if you can imagine like an old database, it has a name, a reason, and a time. When you see the names of Platy, there's only the name Platy. There isn't a reason or a time for them. And it only seems to appear like every now and then. That's just something you seem to track. You don't know why.
Does it seem to indicate where the inquiry was made?
Unfortunately, it doesn't. You can't quite tell. Like, if you had rolled a bit better with that, I could tell you a bit more. But you can't tell if it's just a general database on this robot, or if it's like a general, or if it's like an entire database possibility you've gotten into. Like, you can't tell what level of the systems in the hangar you are in.
I see.
All you know is that you're on a level that you've interacted. Yeah, so the times. that's the other thing. On Platty's names, you don't see any times of interacting. You just see that at some point, Platty has interacted with the hangar. You don't know why or when. Because every other inquiry does have a time and has a reason, like people entering, people exiting, people getting a drink, people buying something else, people entering a room, people leaving a room. It's you start to see that there are many sensors just around the building, but you don't see Platty's name very often, and when you do, there's no information.
I retract from the machine, cleaning up my steps behind me.
Yeah. So you sort of make it all clean, and it's as though you were never there, and as you're sort of stepping back, the entry bot is sort of just head down rebooting, so you've got plenty of time to step away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one's really paying you any mind either. For all intents and purposes, you did succeed that.
Well, fair enough then.
Yeah, very well.
So, I don't trust this guy at all.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, in the Etherean experience, when one being uses another for some sort of advantage, that pretty much leads to disaster.
Indeed.
And perhaps later on I can get into why.
Yeah. But now, though, you know that Platty has been in the hangar. It's just that the data is not complete. If you can find a reason, then that would make it easier. But, I don't know, that might take a bit of sleuthing on your own end. But...
In time. In time.
Yeah, exactly. With that, if there's anything else you want to do with the hangar, let me know. If anyone wants to do anything with the hangar, let me know. And then we'll see what we do afterwards.
I'm simply going to return to our hangar and watch over our vehicles.
Alright, fair enough. Hyper, are you doing anything?
No. I'm ready to leave at any point.
Alright, fair enough. I'll say a bit of time passes then. Probably by the time you're leaving, it's starting to get dark. Just for the sake of simplicity, I'd say probably it's more around 6 p.m.-ish kind of time. In space, the clocks are weird. It goes 33.32. For our sake, it's about 6. As you're leaving Hyper, you basically get a small tug on your arm, and you obviously see the same very high vis. You notice as well now that it actually has its own lighting, reflecting the reflectors. So it's not just the case that just any light will go on. It has a specific light just to make the reflections brighter. Which you then start to think, why not just put a light on? But you don't get time to think about that because the guy's immediately in place.
Okay, look. So the League is worried, okay? The League is really worried about things going on, and they want better ejection seats. They want a lot of shit. Follow me.
Maybe we can gesture you down an alleyway.
Okay.
Right. You start being led over, and it's not exactly a grimy alleyway like one of the evil ones that you can imagine in Batman or something like that. It's pretty well lit, so it's just a bit more secluded. As you sort of get settled, they continue on.
Look, okay, you're gonna hate this because no one would want to do this in their right mind, but I need to install a new ejection seat into a car. Now, here's the issue. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work at all. It is effectively as good as putting hot air underneath you. It won't work. But I need to put it into someone's car, and they said to do it without people knowing, which I am not comfortable with. Because then people are going to be slamming around each other, and someone's going to die. If I could put this in your car, and you live, then after I can just say, hey, wait a second, this would never have triggered. At least I can then say I've done my test and that they will listen to me. And never try this again, okay? I'll make it worth your while. I'll pay you. I just need someone to be aware to do this and know that, hey, if your vehicle gets destroyed, you ain't getting out. So play this next race really carefully, okay? If you're down for it. I understand if you're not. It's just... I need to find someone.
I don't see why I would do this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know why anyone would, but the lead said, hey, you gotta put it in someone's car, and I will pay you for this. I got some votes and I got some credits available. You just try and not to destroy yourself. That's all I'll say. It's fine if you don't want to do this. I'll just pick someone else and hope it's okay, but I do want to do this.
I was told to ram into people. I don't think
Oh,
it's
shit.
safe.
Okay, right. You have to ram someone off. Like, it's not just like generally whoever the hell can. It's like you have to ram one off.
I think so.
Okay, right. Okay. That complicates things a lot. Wow. Yeah, things are bad. Things are very bad. Why are you running people off?
I don't know.
Oh god, okay. Right. Okay, you know what? Don't worry, just... If you want this, feel free. It's just know that there might be a racer out there that isn't gonna get out their car no matter what. Oh god, the next race is gonna be a bloodbath. Okay. Look, if you want to find me, I'll be around the hangar. Just tell me if you need me, and I'll do what I need to do if you want it. I'm gonna go relax.
And they pull out a larger jug of alcohol and take a swig. They sort of start walking off, so, you know, you've been propositioned. That's up to you if you wish to pursue it.
Okay.
But yeah, aside from that, I'd say as well, Kosh, unless you're looking for something as you're leaving, nothing really happens. It's pretty eventless, actually.
If Hyperspeed's coming back in, I notice him.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking after him as well, making sure he's good.
Mhm.
He seems a bit rattled.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess it does depend. Hyperspeed, are you just going straight home after this, or are you like sort of going back in to walk back with Kosh to the hotel?
I'll go to Kosh, but I really want to go home.
Yeah, fair enough then. I will leave it to you to, you know, talk this out a bit. But yeah, Hyperspeed, you sort of like walk back in, and Kosh is stepping back from a robot. Like you think they're just sort of like looking around a bit. Like you just see them like just generally around outside of the hangar. Sorry, outside of the cubicle.
Right. So someone came up to me.
Unnerved child.
Yeah, someone came up to me. Wanted to install an ejection seat that doesn't work.
You do not allow him to do this.
Okay, I won't.
There are seldom any people here who can be trusted, including our master.
Okay.
Yeah. At this point, I'm fairly convinced that we have basically made ourselves targets. So, you know, Kosh is going to sort of kind of watch over Hyperspeed to make sure nobody plucks him off either. Because I kind of feel like somebody may be bold enough to try.
Right.
You know?
Fair enough, fair enough. Dilbin, just for the hell of it, because last one went oh so well for a paradoxical, roll me a D100. Just don't fuck it up. As you're sort of walking back home, this is just the, like, just general fortune as you're walking back. Don't roll a 1, is really key. Perfect, great. Yeah, you know, you walk back, you make sure to, like, pick some of the more, well-lit areas. Crater City is not really known for crimes as such, due to the fact it has a very heavy police presence. There are multiple drones flying around and things like that. It's very well documented what happens going on in the city. But also as you're going by, you just happen to find 10 crits sitting on the ground, so you can take that if you want it. Yeah. They're just 10 crits you can just quickly pick up. It's obviously the normal currency, but hey, every little helps. But yeah, no, you get back to the hotel without any issues whatsoever.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, perfect.
I leave Hyperspeed in his room. I go to my room. All the doors are completely sealed. There are no blinds that allow anybody to peek in.
Mhm.
You then notice that under the door, there is a gas that seems to be leaking out. It seems to be somewhat noxious, but then there appears to be a force field that doesn't seem to be generated by anything electronic that seals it in.
Right.
Beyond
okay.
the keyhole, there is a blinding light for a moment, and then total blackness.
Okay. I'd say probably just like one of the cleaning ladies going by is like, shit, ugh, oh god, and just sort of keeps walking. But yeah, I'd say with that then, unless there's anything you want to do before the race, you can get your moments of rest, and we can get a race day. Anything else you want me to, anything else you want to do, sorry, before the race, or is it about time?
I'm ready.
At this point, we might as well, yeah.
Righty. Well, I won't make it too long, but basically, much like before, you come back to the hangar. Mortimer Tansen is ready for you. This time, actually drinking an espresso martini this time. They seem to have a bit of a thing for martinis and all different sorts. They're sort of just like watching around, like just making sure everything's ready for the plan. You also see them as well making multiple calls as they sort of walk up to the VIP box. It's sort of just like trying to go up and say, yeah, you're doing great, guys. Don't worry. You get teleported soon. Just take it easy. Best of luck. And they go out of view. But your vehicles are there in front of you and ready. It's up to you to get ready to initiate teleportation. You probably have about 5 minutes before you need to be in the cars. So, in the last 5 minutes in the hangar, up to you. You can see maybe who might also be getting into cars as well. It's up to you.
I think I'm just going to go straight to the Lotus then. Because I honestly, genuinely cannot think of anything else that I could possibly do right now.
Yep, fair enough. Yep.
So, yep. Nope.
Much like many
Completely
other races.
unseamed orifice opens. I slip right in, and it seals tight.
Perfect. Much like many of the other races all around you, you begin to get into your car. Hyperspeed. Anything you'd like to do?
I kind of slink away into my car. You can see I'm visibly shaking.
Fair enough. Can I have one of you roll a chaos check?
I can roll it.
Very well.
Sure.
Okay, so in that case then, Hyper, could I get a chaos check out of you, just out of curiosity? I want to see if you notice something. Okay. Yeah, that's what you need. As you're getting in, you're a bundle of nerves. You're looking around a bit. Like, you can see as like your monitors start coming up, so you can see what's generally around you. You sort of like see some of the other racers getting in. You see all different sorts of people going around and getting ready. And then you see him. You see what appears to be a bit of a malnourished human half-elven figure, wearing what seems to be a mix of like a yellow and a green sort of a jumpsuit kind of thing, just making their way somewhere to the right. You probably know who this is. And yeah, they appear to be getting ready for race day. But with that, I think it's about time to start getting ready for our races. So let me go ahead and change the music, and let me see if I remember how on earth we do all this. So, right, Gravity Lift Racing, the main part of the game, not all the stuff that all goes on behind the scenes. This is the main stuff this time. Oh boy, let's see what's going on. So, let me go back to my notes really quickly, because I need to double check I've got everything done. But yeah, you guys are all just sort of sitting your cars ready. Of course, you probably noticed as well that the telecoms device has been turned back on from last time, so it's up to you if you want to preemptively shut it off to 1 Mortimer. But, you know, it's up to you.
I, at the moment, don't see any value in doing anything with it, so I'm just actually going to let that slide for right now.
Fair enough then. Alright. So, you get to sort of explain again. So, in your general cockpit, it's effectively a Faraday cage of what you can, you know, go with. There isn't a lot. It is very analog. It basically just tells you after a bit of time, your position in a race, like, you'll know where other people are around you, and you've got telecoms for your team. So you all can chat with each other. It's just you can't chat with other people unless you had a mod that allowed you to do it, which would be illegal. Unless that stopped anyone. So, basically, what we are now going to do is roll a d20. Now, usually I meant to roll d20s for you, but I want you to roll your own d20. So do/roll 1d20, and I'm going to roll one for our dear rival, using my dire d20. Now remember, you want low numbers here, not high. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, good to know. Okay, so, could you just call out those numbers to me really quick, so I can get that sorted? Could I get High Speed's number?
I got 7.
Alright, not bad. You got 7. Kosh, what did you get?
I got 12 over here.
Okay, you got 12. Lovely. Okay. You will probably see your rival's position in a moment, because yeah, you can probably see this a bit. Somewhere in front of you, you see a charcoal speedster here in front of you, hyperspeed. Just a heads up. Also, why is this not... Sorry, I'm having a few issues there. Great. Okay, perfect. Right. So, with your race objectives more or less in mind, whether you choose to fully pursue them or not for your greatest bounty is up to you. But you arrive on this ice planet, and first you have to shield your eyes because, as you can probably imagine, it's reflective, and the sun appears to be much closer than you would hope for, because luckily you are quite as well insulated as you are in your cars, since whilst there is still ice, it's a weird mixture of blinding lights and frigid temperatures, where even the temperature of the sun doesn't even seem to pierce through. But you are on the planet, and you see the lights getting ready to go. If you have any last movements to talk about beforehand, any strategies you want to consider, whether you even want to talk with each other and whether you will follow Mortimer's plans, it's up to you. But, unless you aren't, we'll begin the race.
Do you want to communicate with Kosh about if we're gonna ram anyone specific?
Get to talking then.
Kosh, are we going to ram anyone?
But only if necessary. For defense. There are others here who are not as they seem. I will seek them.
Alrighty. And with that, the lights go red, 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 yellow, green, and then you are off. So first off, none of you get to go because your rival goes first. They are going to do what every racer does and just try to go fast. So, ooh, okay. I've got some rolls to do on my end. Okay, interesting. That will come up later. But, righty. Okay, let me just do a quick calculation for that. Okay, yep, okay. Right, perfect. As the race sort of goes off, high speed, you find yourself going towards a variety of different straights and different corkscrew turns, and even something that is almost like a banking, an embankment on a turn that almost goes on for about another mile. It's a very long turn. But as you're sort of going up to this, what would you like to do? Because just to remind you, you can advance, hold, or retreat.
What do I see in front of me?
In front of you, you see what appears to be a bit more of a balanced racer. You don't know who it is. You just see that it's a racer that doesn't exactly have too much flair onto it. It's very much more built to be more stable. But that doesn't mean it's completely unable to be speedy.
Okay, I want to advance.
Alrighty. In that case then, what I need you to do is roll a d6 plus your acceleration. But just remember, when you fight the pack fights back, so I'll also be rolling 1d6 to see how much you are going to be fighting against. So roll 1d6 plus your acceleration, which I believe is a 2, if I'm correct.
Yes, it's the XL, yeah, it's a 2.
Yep. Alright, perfect. Roll it. Alrighty, not bad. That's also not bad from the pack, since I rolled a 6. So, either way, you'll be able to move up at least one position. Now, this is a part where I need to ask you. Are you going to burn any integrity? to maybe eliminate some of those positions. You can even burn 6 to go all the way 7. Because bear in mind, you are in 7th position. If you wanted to burn everything, you could get to 1st.
No, I'll just stay. I'll just go to 1.
Okay, you just want to go for 1? Very well then, you're going to hold on to your integrity for now. And I also do just want to remind everyone here, as we are in the races, if you don't like a roll, you can use a radical to try and get your roll sorted. I'll be giving out radicals for anything particularly interesting you guys might be wanting to do. But okay, you are going to move up 1 position then. You sort of just squeak it out beside this person. You don't see anything about them because their screens are just straight blacked out. They appear to be in like a sort of like almost like a peachy kind of color car, but also like different streaks of red going through. It reminds you worryingly of Flesh, but you also don't think that was the intention because it's very haphazardly done. There's no like veins or anything. But either way, you get to go by their car and push them back to where you were. Now then, Kosh, what would you like to do? You are in 12th position and you're sort of tailing up into this position. I'd say around this point is probably when you get into an icy area of the track where where it seems like a large open area, but as you can sort of look and you see a bit of reflection, you notice that there's large amounts of black ice everywhere, so you have to actually try and steer to avoid them. What are you doing?
Well, what exactly else is in front of me? If I were to try and advance, what kind of adversity can I expect here?
Right, yeah. I guess just to explain as well, we are currently in the Helicam phase, so whilst you're not exactly going against a particular racer, you're going after the pack. The pack is always a 1d6. So I'd say just for flair, the racer you're currently up against is a tanky car. It's very much built to last, not for speed. But if you want to advance, you can as well. You just have to fight the pack.
I think I'm going to try and hold my position until I can get around the black ice. Because I feel like that's going to throw a wrench in the engine.
Right, okay then, very well. So, would you like to basically... So, sorry, just to elaborate. Would you like to advance as a turn, but just after you get past this trickier area?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, sure, I'll allow that. Yeah, you can wait a little bit longer. You know what, just for the hell of it, roll me a theory check. This is basically you trying to get around black ice without having too much of an issue. Alright, that is exactly what you need, because theory... Wait, is it? Fuck, hold on. Theory's higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Nope.
Okay. It's not disastrous. You just sort of spin a little bit and you lose a little bit of traction. Blood sort of screams out a little bit. You just notice that one person seems to go by you immediately. So basically the pack will have a +1 to their roll. But if you'd like to advance, roll for your roll a d6 plus your acceleration. The pack will roll 2.
1d6 and my acceleration, if I recall, was 2.
Yep. Okay.
See how she flies, Orville.
Now, I would like to remind you, if you would like to get a better roll out of that, you can with a radical bonus. And just tell me how you do something particularly interesting, if you'd like to use it.
A radical bonus. Only have about 2 here. I think I'll give it a shot.
Right, very well then.
I think this is a bit of a jab to Lotus's ego more than Kosh's. Kosh doesn't have a problem with being a bit more reserved in his advancing, but Lotus was built for speed. So you start noticing tendrils emerging from the side of the car that kind of help realign it, and it tries its best to advance.
Right,
Sometimes it can have a mind of its own.
Very well. It's not totally a modification, so no one really seems to pick up on it, let alone dare to question it. But as it sort of tries to steady itself, it almost tries to launch itself again. Okay, give me another roll.
That's another 1d6?
Yep, just another 1d6 plus 2.
Plus 2.
That's a bit better.
Shit.
Yep, so, don't worry, that's a 6. So, the pack rolled a 5 this time. I will say that. But, you will at least be able to go up 1 position. Now, it's up to you if you want to burn integrity, because do bear in mind, you do have a slightly higher integrity now, due to your extra beefiness, but it's up to you what you want to do. You can burn all 5, you can burn down 3, it's up to you.
I don't think I'm going to burn any integrity for this.
Alright, very well then. In that case,
We're still pretty early in the race, so...
Yeah, you're pretty early, you know, there's 3 laps, but you're still far from overclocking yet. So, you move up in position as well. I guess just to give you a bit of a summary on how this goes, this has been a very rough race for people. Of course, you probably noticed it as well, as you're very much in the middle of the pack. It is fierce. There's many people just trying to get around the ice, and you swear you see a few people even spin out already, and immediately go to the back of the pack. It's rough. You see a lot of people already getting pretty torn up by not only the barriers, but from other people not even meaning to bump into them. But from the lines of things, you actually gain on your rival, Cheese. It's not by much, as there's still a car in front of you to get to them, but you have definitely gained on them, and each of you has moved up one position. So you, Hyperspeed, are currently in 6th position, and Kosh, you are currently in 11th. But, with that being said and done, it is now time for our maneuvers phase, and it always starts the person in front, so we're going to be starting out with Platty here. They are going to be trying to attempt to do something... They probably didn't need to do that, so let's see what they might want to do. Yeah, they would do that. I guess as well, the thing you might notice about Platty's vehicle is that they were able to get pole position last time, and you might notice that they've also gotten a bit tankier. You notice a few extra little plates alongside their car. So they are going to be rolling to overtake a person and see what happens. Okay. That is equal. I need to roll again. Fuck. Okay. Hyper, you see this. You can sort of see just in front of you Platty trying to overtake someone, but as they're trying to overtake, it appears that they maybe lose focus for a second, as they don't seem to notice the driver back immediately to then try and slam them at the side. So, well, this means that they fail to overtake someone, which now means an opponent gets a free slam attack. Let's see how they do, shall we? Okay. Okay. So, that's interesting. As they sort of try to slam into Platty gets a surge of speed. They, however, can't keep their position in front of the person, but as they try to slam to the right, they begin to get shredded along the barrier. This unknown racer that is appearing to try and slam back into Platty has not only gotten, like, frostbite crystals on the side of their car, but has also shredded off quite a bit of armor as well. They've taken a bit of damage to that person, and that person is most likely the person in 3rd position. So Platty is still where they are, but 3rd is looking kind of rough. You can see that they're a car built more towards acceleration more than anything, so that isn't brilliant. But yeah. Anyway, it's your turn now, Hyperspeed. What would you like to do?
Okay. Hyperspeed is getting a little nervous about what he was told about ramming someone. So he's looking around for anyone.
Yeah.
Might look a little weaker.
Yeah, I guess just to confirm as well, what Mortimer said was, have one of you cause a racer to retire. So that's the key thing here. Bear in mind this is the start of the race, you don't see anyone immediately close to you as a target. You do know behind you though, there is very much a car built for speed. It's effectively a wedge-shaped car that is almost like a derby like racer kind of a wooden vehicle, but it's clearly not wood. It's very much a very highly reinforced metal, but it's just made to look like wood. You sort of see that just behind you. Is there anything you'd like to do with that person, or would you just like try and overtake the person in front?
What can I do again?
Oh right, yeah, of course, sorry. Let me explain that. So you can either overtake, slam, or block. You can try to overtake the person in front, which uses your acceleration. You can try to slam someone, which will take your weight, or you can try to block someone, which will use your weight to try and stop people from getting by you, effectively negating anything the person might want to do behind you.
I'm for now going to try to overtake.
Very well. The car in front of you is... what do you think? You've seen this person before, actually. You don't know much about them as a person, but you recognize the car, as right along the side, in pretty crude lettering, you see Fury Star. If you remember, at the start of your first ever race, you actually had a bit of an interaction with this person, as you slipped by him once before. They're a pretty stable car, I would say. Let me just double check something really quick, actually. Yeah, they are a car that is very well balanced. So they're not built for acceleration, but they're also not built for, stopping people from getting by. So if you'd like to, roll your acceleration modifier. Sorry, roll a 1d6 plus your acceleration, and we will see if you can get by them. Yeah, you can get by them because they rolled a 2. Yeah, you are able to quite cleanly slip by this person again, and you try to take a peek into the car a bit better. You can't really see much, but all you can tell is that they appear to be quite a hairy individual and quite large, almost like cramped into the car unnaturally. And they are furious. Very much living up to the name of the car. They've seen you before, and they don't like the cut of your jib, my friend. They are not happy that you have done the same move to them again. And, you now have this person behind you. But, you're up in position, you've only shunted them back one. So, what's the worst that happens? And you just so happen to get yourself right behind dear old Platty. So, unless there's anything else you want to say during your turn, we'll move on to Kosh.
I kind of shrink back into my seat.
Yeah. Alright then. Kosh, you are currently in 11th position. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try and advance some more.
Yep,
Since things seem to start to be stabilizing, arguably.
Would you like to know about the person in front of you right now, since you're going to have to try and overtake them specifically?
Of course.
Alright, perfect. I would say the person in front of you as well is actually someone very much built to be fast. They're not anyone who is, particularly defensible. In fact, you'd say that you even just went and forgoed anything of that. They are pure speed. So, if you want to try and overtake them, it probably wouldn't be too hard, but you never know.
I mean, if I'm supposed to overtake them and they're basically built for speed, it kind of sounds like they're a better candidate for the retirement in question.
That's the thing.
But
if you want to, you can try to overtake them, they'll be using their weight, or you can use your weight against theirs.
I think I'm going to try and overtake them.
Okay. I would just like to mention, just so you know. Yeah. An overtake effectively means you gain a position, and if you fail, your opponent gains a slam. Sorry, I probably should have explained this a bit earlier, so I do apologize, but a slam is effectively that if you succeed, your opponent takes -2 integrity flat, and an additional 1d6 of damage, or they lose a position. So it's up to you. So it's up to them whether they want to try and stain it, and grin and bear it, or then push back. So it's you potentially doing damage and pushing them back, or if you fail, you then take a -2 integrity yourself. Or you can block, which effectively means that if you succeed against it, you basically negate the person behind you if they do anything. However, then that could open you up to overtaking and slamming attacks if you are, failing it. So it's up to you. A slam could be more beneficial here, as they are a weaker racer and they've taken a few knocks.
I think Kosh is going to kind of do a 180 on what he was planning to do and sort of make his position known here. He's going to attempt to slam.
Alrighty, tell me what you're going to do here out of curiosity. Since this person's in front of you, trying to keep a decent pace, trying to slipstream behind different people, probably not paying too much attention to you.
First of all, he's going to straight up tell Lotus, alright, give it a shot, but don't be ruthless about it. What Lotus is going to try and do is sort of get alongside of it, and if there's still some black ice on the road, it's going to try to nudge the vehicle off kilter into the black ice, causing it to spin, and hopefully that'll, fuck it up a little bit here.
Yeah, right, exactly. Fair enough then. Roll a 1d6 plus your weight modifier. I'll be rolling the same on my end.
6, and that was plus a 2, I believe.
I believe it's a plus 1 for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, it is a plus 1, you're right.
Yeah, you're a bit beefier. Yeah, that works. So effectively what you do is...
Okay.
Yeah, no, they rolled a 2 and they're a -1 already, so they're a 1. They're trying to navigate some of the black ice. You're not in, basically Black Ice Valley. You're more in, just a few different chicanes, really. And as you're sort of turning through, you could easily disguise it as you just trying to get by, and that you accidentally knock them a bit, if that's what you want to do, or if you want to make it very visible that you slam the fuck out of them. It's up to you, I'd say.
I'm going to try and be sleek about this.
Right, yeah. You know, you can play it off as a bit of an accident, really. They begin to spin, and depending on how hard this is going to be whether they lose a spot. Roll a 1d6, because they're going to be losing -2 anyway. Also, while you do that, actually, I need to get something to write on. Okay.
There you go, 1d6.
Right. That is interesting. Let me just grab a piece of paper here really quick, since I'm going to need to track this person, because, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let me grab a notepad really quick. Whoop.
Kind of using my Discord messages as a notepad here.
Yeah. I was going to do that, but I have to keep Discord up, so, yeah. Can't quite do that, unfortunately, but, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. My handwriting just sucks too much. I unironically use cursive at work, but anyway.
Yeah, no, don't worry, it's all good. Yeah, okay, interesting. So, let's say it's this. I'm just gonna create a few little things on mine really quick, because this might be someone who might come back later. As, yeah, they, like, you hit them pretty hard, and they spin, but they're able to try and control it, but as they try to control it, you are able to slip by pretty fast. You sort of see as well, like, in front of the actual vehicle itself, you see that the vehicle is called the Jaeger. It's the Jaeger. You don't quite see the person inside of it, but you notice like a few different lights on the inside. You'd have to assume that there's a lot of tech related to this person. But you do get to not only do a bit of damage to them, but also push forwards a bit. So, let me go ahead and get that sorted, and I'll give you a quick little summary of what happened in the situation. Because, unfortunately, dear Platty was unable to get really around their racer, but they did allow him to get a pretty decent amount of damage knocked into him. So, the person in third right now is now looking kind of rough already at the start of the race. But, one moment, let me just put that, and you just say, you know, they're holding on to that, so they probably took more like that. Yep. Then we have hyperspeed. You are right behind Platty. Your car is about the same levels of speed as Platty Black's is. That you probably know, they are in the SSC Wolverine, I believe it's called. But you're now sort of trying to like keep their tail. And of course, you're a bit further behind. You're still in a lot of the heart of the pack, so there is a lot of issues when it comes to other people beating into each other. You can start to see now that a lot of people are slowly starting to wear and tear each other a bit more. And that's only going to happen more because in this next round we get to the heli phase, and you hear a little as the overdrive is unlocked for all of you. Now, just a reminder of this. If you want to do a little bit better in your rolls, you can decide to burn a bit of your integrity to perform better. So however much integrity you want to burn, you can then add to your next roll as a modifier. So basically sacrificing some of your life to go a bit faster or hit a bit harder, really. But, with that all being in mind, how about we go ahead and see how our number one is doing, which is Platty, because Platty is still in the lead. Let's see how they do, shall we? They are going to... you know what? They don't like you, Hyper. So they are going to try and... Okay, interesting. Interesting. You see Platty trying to take on some more defensive maneuvers here. They're not trying to get ahead. Like, we see you trying to get around them, and they're going to try and block you. But you do actually see a few times where there are quite a few openings, should you be willing to take the risk. So, it now turns to you, as Platty is just trying to basically hold their position against you, but they're not doing a good job at it. It's your turn, Hyper. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm on 6 now?
Sorry, you're on 5th position. Platty is on
okay.
4th, and Kosh is on 10th. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
Kosh is in 10th. Okay.
Yep. So technically you're all above 12th, and if you can knock out a racer, then Mortimer's happy.
Yeah.
This is your second lap, where overdrive is now enabled.
Sorry, I can advance, block, or...
Yeah, you can advance, block, or retreat. If you retreat, you could retreat as much as you like. You could even try to get to... You could even retreat to a point where you'd be lapped to get to a 1st position if you wanted to, but, yeah.
Okay. For now, I guess I'll try to advance.
Right, very well then. In that case, roll a d6 plus your acceleration. When you fight the pack, pack fights back, and I'll be rolling a 6. Yeah. I gotta say this as well. They rolled a 6.
Oh, my child.
Yeah. The advance just fails. You have a bit of a rough time here. You kind of think about maybe trying to use some of your integrity here because you're starting to think like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you're just burning off a little bit. You've got like 8 left in the tank. You can probably give it a go. But as you're sort of thinking this, you're trying to push by Platty. But even though Platty's doing a shit job of blocking, they seem to still be inhumanly able to move their car almost on an immediate horizontal axis. So you're still having a hard time getting by them is the issue. But they're holding their position. You unfortunately cannot get by. We will then go back over to Kosh, who is in the heart of the pack. What would you like to do?
Oh, I'm just going to straight up continue to advance my position. In fact, I might even sacrifice a point of integrity to do so.
Yep, alright then, make a note of that, and if you want to add that 1 point to your roll, you most certainly can. So you'll be rolling your 1d6 plus your acceleration plus how much integrity you want to burn. Make sure that is removed, because you'll need to pay for that later.
Yeah, I understand. So I'm just going to go ahead and sacrifice a single point here, because I don't want to get too crazy.
Perfect. As you're sort of going by, you do hit into the barrier a few little times, just try and sneak around people, which, shreds the loads a little bit, but nothing too substantial.
It looks like there might be some sort of like weird brownish green bruising happening along where the bumping was, but it starts to slowly fade.
Yeah, exactly. The pack is rolled. Let's see how you do.
1d6, and in this case it's going to be +3, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Just making sure I got my ducks in a row here. Okay. Oh, hello.
Alright, that's a bit better. I'll tell you this much. A pack rolled a 4. Sorry, yeah,
Okay.
a 4. So, you can go up 3 positions naturally, but if you'd like to burn a bit more integrity, you could push by a bit more.
I think I'm just going to stick with the 3 positions.
Yep.
Because hyperspeed's still in 6th place, right?
Hyperspeed's in 5th, so, you're getting closer to the front. You're not quite as fast as last time, but you're getting there. You do hear a few little worry communications by Mortimer, but you're moving now. So, you can go up 1, 2, 3. Perfect. With that, then, unless there's anything you guys want to talk about on the race side of things, we will move on to our maneuvers phase. In that case, what I'll sort of explain here is that Platty and Hyper, you're sort of locked in positions right now. You're both trying to vie for your place in the race. Platty is in 4th, as they are directly in front of you, and Hyper, you're in 5th. You're not getting much competition from the person behind you, but you do know that behind them is Kosh in 7th. So Kosh is slowly moving her way up as well, as a much more tankier car. So perhaps backup's coming, but for now, let's see how Platty is going to do, because Platty is really not much of a fan of you being with him all the time. Yeah, okay. Preemptively, let's do this. Okay, one moment. And, okay, May will go. Okay, what would you like to do? Hyper?
Is it my turn?
Yep.
What did Platty do?
Platty, you can't quite tell. They didn't try to push up, and they haven't retreated, so the best you can guess is that maybe they're trying to hold their position.
Yeah. Well, Hyper is getting a little frustrated that he can't move up. That Platty is stopping him.
Yeah.
And he remembers how Platty stole his first position in the first race.
Oh, yeah.
And he decides he's going to ram him.
Alrighty, in that case, give him a slam. Platty is blocked, so they already have a roll that they did. You can see them as well, like, do some pretty dangerous maneuvers as a lot of their tires start to wear away. Give me a slam attack, and add your weight, which I believe is a 0, so it's just a straight 1d6. Okay. As Platty is trying to block
straight
you,
up, my dude.
Yeah, as Platty is trying to block you, you're sort of realizing how they're moving, that there's almost a bit of a pattern to how they move. They do like a right, left, left. And you sort of notice how they try to do it, and you notice they just slowly go a bit more to the right at one point, So as they do that, and as they try to get ready to go to the left, you get in and try to slam them. So they are immediately going to take a -2. Roll a 1d6. Because you succeeded there. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good.
You slammed the fuck out of him. But he's staying in. You weren't able to get by him, but he is very badly damaged right now because as you slam into him, you effectively grind him against the bars. And you almost lock eyes with this person as well, and you can see inside their car it's just a wisp of smoke and hatred. Because they look at you and you look at them. What are you thinking?
I'm scared, but also the scaredness is fading away.
You start to get a bit of stealing within yourself, as at first you have worry about this person looking back and deep into you, but you try to get some resolve back out, and you try to remember your father's old ways. Whilst they were very much, someone just going for speed, every now and then they had to take a hit. And you very much have done a hit for him. So, with that, whilst you haven't gained a position, you've definitely made an impact. Kosh, what would you like to do?
Well, first of all, Kolsch is going to look over at this and go, oh, fuck, okay, this is completely new.
Yeah, you
He's
see
also-
Hyperspeed basically grinding him against a rail and just pulling back slightly as Platy tries to steer back into fourth position.
Because you also have to remember, Kosh felt bad about Hyperspeed losing his father, and he's just kind of trying to be like a protectorate of sorts, but now he's going like, oh, fuck, do I really need to do this? So, seeing as there's like a little bit of fatherly pride going in all 16 of his eyes or whatever is actually in the encounter suit, he's going to continue to advance his position as much as humanly possible to sort of circumvent all of the chaos of the pack.
Yeah, I guess just to highlight this as well, obviously you can do either a straight overtake, which is obviously just a 1d6 against a person, or you can utilize your weight to try and slam him out of it. To actually give you a bit of detail, the person in front of you is a bit more on the acceleration side, but not into weight too much. So, like, they're not a glass cannon, but they have a bit of oomph to them, but they probably were in like a few positions above, but they've taken a fair bit of a beating lately. You see a tiny bit of smoke coming out of them. It's up to you if you want to do a straight overtake or if you want to try and slam.
At this point, I don't think I need to slam him. I'm just going to try to pull a straight overtake.
Alright, then in that case, I need to roll your acceleration. They are going to roll their weight against you.
I believe my acceleration was a +2, so... I'm a dumbass.
Okay, well, don't worry, they need to roll still, but I'll tell you now, they are being very pedantic about what they're doing right now. Let's see. Oh. Roll it again.
Oh, me? Really?
Yep, roll it again.
With my acceleration and everything?
Yep, with your acceleration. Hey. Yeah, you get by. You sort of see that some of their maneuvers
okay.
is that they even like grind against your car a bit, as though like trying to stop you go by, like trying to like get you caught against the barrier. But as you're able to slip by, like it's almost as though you just like for a moment go grease mode, and you just slip by, and then they slam into the barrier for just a split second and seem to shatter off one of their mirrors. But you are able to get by them, and now you are right behind Hyper.
The person who...
Yep.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go.
Oh no, I
go
was about to say, Platy is obviously just ahead of Hyper as well. You can see them, and their car is not in great nick.
You could almost hear the Sanguine snickering a little bit as he was able to grease by him.
Yeah. Funny enough as well.
That kind of shit.
Yeah. I'll say this as well. You get a weird transmission come through as well. You hear a variety of dots and then just a small... You don't know who the hell did that, but that came through on your intercom. Either way, with that all being said and done, let's talk about our current positions. 4th, 5th, and 6th all belong to Platy, Hyper, and Kosh, respectively. So, let us go to the Helicam Phase, where we have our dear Platy trying to make a name for themselves. They are going to roll and hopefully do something good. It's an okay roll. Alrighty, in that case, they go up that many positions. Okay. Platy is actually able to get a better break this time from you, Hyper. They are able to go up a fair few positions, actually, like 2 cars. So they get away from you. However, you can always pursue them if you would like to advance, because it is your turn. What would you like to do? This is the final lap, do bear in mind, so if you're willing to burn any integrity, now is the time.
I want to advance to in front of Platy. Can I advance if I advance, let's say just 10, can I choose to only advance a certain amount of that?
Yeah, let's put it this way. Like, I'll tell you this: there's only one car in front of Platy. If you can get by them, then they're going to be pushed back quite a bit, and you'll be first. So it's up to you and how you want to do this, and whether you want to burn some of your integrity to get there is the only thing.
I think
Okay.
I'm going to burn.
Also, I will say again, I don't know if you have it, but if you have a radical point that you can use, you can always re-roll something you don't like.
So I don't want. I think.
All of you start
Caution.
with one. Yeah, all of you start with one radical point for yourself.
Okay, but I don't think I've used mine yet.
Yeah, you haven't used yours yet, so, you know, it's up to you. Do you want to burn a bit of integrity, and maybe also just save a radical for later?
I'm going to burn just 1 integrity.
Okay, fair enough then. As you sort of get ready, you sort of put the engine into a little bit of a higher gear that you're not really meant to go to. Bit of a hidden, like, you know, 10th gear, basically. The engine fires up a little bit more and it gets a bit hot inside, so you start to sweat a bit, but take off that integrity and add it to your roll of the acceleration, because the pack's going to fight back too. Okay.
My boy.
Now here's the issue. The pack rolled a 6.
Oh my god.
So, here's what's going to happen here. You can move up to 4th position, but obviously that isn't first. If you want to take a bit of integrity and gamble a little bit, and hope that nothing bad happens to you, you most certainly can. I'll say this, if you do want to burn a bit of integrity, and you do get beyond Platyplax, chances are you're going to be pushing him back a fair few spots.
I think I'm going to burn 1 integrity to get behind Platyfax.
Okay, you're going to get behind then, alright? Mark off that integrity, and you begin to push and shove your way over to the 3rd position. You shove Third out, who is already looking pretty rough, not gonna lie. They're not doing too great. But, you know, you are able to shunt them out of the way, and you are still behind Platy. And with that, Kosh, you see Hyper just take off in front of you. What would you like to do? Because you're now getting to like one of the last bends and like basically the straight of everything is what you're effectively at right now. It's a very long straight. This is like the first half of it. What would you like to do?
Well, first of all, Kasha's going to go ahead and open a channel to hyperspeed and say,
Be still, child. There is still glory to be had without laying waste to yourself.
next thing I'm going to do is try to advance it a little bit more.
Alrighty, very well then. In that case, roll your acceleration. If you'd like to burn anything with your integrity, you most certainly can. You are currently in 6th position, so you wouldn't be able to get immediately to first unless you did, is the issue. But, you know, it's up to you. You can burn integrity later.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've still got a lap to go here, so I'm going to try to hold on to my integrity because I think that I'm making more and more enemies. So
I do just want to confirm this is the 3rd lap. This is your final lap.
this is the 3rd lap.
Yeah, this
oh,
is
in
the
that
3rd
case,
lap.
fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it
try to
is
shoot
well.
for like 2nd place or something.
Yeah, very well then. And just bear in mind, well, you can burn your integrity in retrospect once you see the pack roll, or you can just burn it now just to be doubly safe. It's up to you.
I'm gonna see how the pack rolls first. So
Very
I'm
well
just
then.
gonna do my straight acceleration.
Yep, go ahead. When you fight the pack fights back. Let's see what you do. Okay. No, you do succeed as a thing, but here's the thing. Pack rolls a 4.
Okay.
Now, obviously, you're going to move up 2 positions, so that'll get you into 4th, which is still right behind Hyper. If you want to burn more to get higher, you most certainly can.
I'm gonna just burn a single point. I only want to be about where Hyper is. I mean, as far as it goes, if I'm just right behind Hyperspeed, I can still get in front of him. I just kind of want to make sure nobody's gonna eviscerate the poor kids. So
Okay, I guess just to check then, if you burn one, you're going to be putting yourself between Platy and Hyper. Or you could try and go in front of Platy into first if you want. Or well, yeah, you could basically try... Okay, so here's the thing. I'll try to explain this a bit quicker. You burn one activity, you're taking over Hyper's space. So Hyper will be moved down one. I'll give you this as a freebie because obviously you're a team. You'll be moving Hyper down one, but you'll be self-imposing yourself in front of Platy. You could burn two and go in front of Platy, which is still going to push down Hyper, but you'll be in second, Platy will be in third.
I guess I'm kind of wondering if Hyper's going to be okay with me doing this as far as it goes, but by the same token, we're a team, so... I think I'm going to take the initiative and try to get in front of Platy. So just to clarify, that's going to burn how many?
So in order to get in front of Platy, you need to burn 2, effectively.
2 out of the 8 that I have remaining, so that'll leave me with 6. And we're already in the 3rd lap, and if I'm ahead of them enough, I don't foresee too much, but I kind of feel like he's going to try to pull something.
You never know.
So... I have already burned up the 1 radical point that I have, correct?
I believe you did, yeah. You had to reroll earlier.
Okay.
So it's up to you in how you position yourself. You could just keep behind Hyper if you want to. You could self-impose yourself between Hyper and Platy. Or you could go in front of Platy and basically sandwich them between you. It's up to you. This is your final lap.
Okay. I think I'm going to try to just get straight in front of Platy. So I'm going to burn up 2.
Yeah, burn 2. Hyper, you see Kosh begin to push right in front. You're probably able to let him by quite easily. Platy is not happy with that though, is the issue. So I will say both of you do go down 1 spot, but Kosh is able to get into second. Now the question comes on if you're going to vie for first. But to give you a bit of a summary of what's going on here. Kosh, you are now in second position, so you'll be going first the next time, but also Platy is in third, and Hyper, you are just off the podium with 4th. But let's get to our final ever bit in this race. As you're about to get to the finish line, it is within your reach. Split second decisions from all of you here. Kosh, what are you doing?
Okay, so who's in front of me and how far ahead is he?
The one in front of you, they are fucked up. I will say this.
Fucked up.
They are a speedster. There's a lot of speedsters in this race, which you think is really badly suited for it, but they are to the point of being, how do I put it? They're pretty close to being destroyed, but that's the thing about the car as well. As you sort of see, you think, wait, so this is a really fragile car. How is it still alive? You notice that there's extra plating on it. Whilst it's a very fast car, it seems like they've tried to improve it slightly, so it's not as weak as usual.
Interesting.
So, to your eyes, it might have been another car that's been modified to be a bit tankier, but it's still very speedy.
Okay. So he kind of strikes me as a prime candidate for retirement. Which, again, Kosh is kind of apprehensive about himself. But Lotus is having a great fucking time. Even though it just took a bunch of damage and experienced a lot of pain, this vehicle is really more like an aggressive horse, if I'm being perfectly honest. So Lotus is going to take the initiative and try to slam him and force him into retirement.
Yeah. Tell me how you're doing this. I'm curious. Are you being, a bit more sly about this, or are you making a spectacle out of this?
Lotus feels like making a spectacle out of this, against Kosh's will.
Alright, gotcha. In that case, go ahead and do it. And also, do make sure you're tracking how many slams you're doing, so that's going to be important later, since I think I know that Hype did 1, but I can't remember anymore. I'm terribly sorry.
Okay, I remember that I recorded 1 slam against the Jaeger.
Yep, was that successful?
Tempting slam against almost dead. Fuck.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just tell me if it's a successful one is all I really need to know, since successful ones give you a few extra crits.
Okay, so it's a 1d6 plus my weight?
Indeed it is. They are going to be ballsy with this as well, but they need to stay in the race. Okay. Here's what they're going to do. Yeah,
Alright.
Okay.
So, with the Lotus hissing in anticipation, unrecognized command. I fucked it up.
Oop. Okay.
Okay.
Roll again.
Really?
Yeah.
Same
they
roll?
rolled a 3. They rolled a 3. So yep,
fuck.
same roll.
Okay.
Roll again.
I'm gonna make sure I don't fuck this up.
Yep, don't worry, give it a go. Okay.
Oh goddamn,
Fuck.
son.
Fuck, roll again, because they rolled a 5 too. Come on, let's go with this. You are now like,
Are you
basically.
shitting me
Yeah.
right now, my dude?
I shit you not. They've got a +0 to their stuff. You're getting the same goddamn rolls. 'Cause you're basically lightsaber battling right now. You're getting sparks flying off here, there, and center. Oh. Roll again! What the fuck? I rolled a 5. Roll again. Go! Fuck! Go again! Okay,
Jesus
there we go.
Christ. There
They
it is.
rolled a 3. They rolled a 3. Alright. Because here's the thing, they were going to be ballsy about some shit here, and, you're now lightsaber battling. Like, you're going in front, they're going behind, like, you're basically tangling around. You're even, like, spinning around at multiple points. How are you slamming this fucker?
So Lotus is going to take some of its tendrils and wrap the tendrils around where, like, its face ought to be. It is then going to proceed to harden them a little bit and sort of battering ram sort of like the dorsal or like side of the vehicle, kind of forcing it sort of into the wall. It's not
Gotcha.
trying to be like terminal or too aggressive about it, but it wants to get him out of the way. Lotus
Gotcha.
wants to make its position known here,
Very well.
first and foremost.
As you sort of slam it against the wall, you begin to grind it, you begin to push more and more and more, until eventually you hear a as the car begins to get ready to explode. So, I now need to roll a d6. If they roll a 1, this racer dies.
Oh. Kosh is mad at Lotus. So, just gonna let you all know that. No, bad car. Go to your room.
So, let me explain what happens here.
Okay.
They sort of begin to crumple this car, almost like a can, as you dig yourself more and more into it. Whether you're trying to stop Lotus or not, it doesn't matter. Lotus is keeping digging in, slowly crumpling it more and more and more, and with a can you expect the pressure to go somewhere. It doesn't. Usually an ejector seat would pop off by now. It doesn't.
Oh no.
And the Lotus begins to keep going and going and going. Even maybe at this point just trying to get someone out by maybe putting a few more tentacles underneath to like scoop him. But as that sort of happens, the car is flipped off. And they begin to plummet down below.
Huh. Well, it wasn't the first time a demigod accidentally screwed something up for a mortal being, so...
You don't hear a parachute or anything go off. All you hear is a...
Oh.
But on the bright side, you are now in first. And everyone moves up a spot, because a racer has been taken out of the race.
You start to notice the Lotus slightly decelerating, and its coloring immediately kind of turns gray, and then you sort of see like a bright red light coming out of the cockpit. Kosh is fucking pissed.
Just for the sake of it, Hyper, you begin to realize something. You remember that safety inspector, and how they're really worried about what might just happen in the races, and just, things like that. Like, you know that by every point, that car had plenty of time to, eject. You don't know why it didn't. But them's rules. Bloody turn. Bloody wants blood. Bloody just wants blood. I need you, Kosh, to roll to not be slammed. I need you to roll a weight check.
Okay. 1d6 plus 1.
Yep. Oh.
That sounds about right.
How do you roll a 3?
Okay.
Okay. So let me check something here, because now here's the thing. What is your integrity, out of curiosity?
My integrity is actually currently 6.
If Bloody rolls a 6, you either have to move back or you're going to fucking explode. I'm just gonna say this
Okay.
right now because they need to roll a 1d6 to see what happens. Because actually, no, it's not even that. They need to roll a 4 because you immediately take 2 integrity as you're busy ramming this car off the entire racetrack. And as you get to the barrier, Claddy does effectively a diagonal like shunt into you, like trying to catch the back of the Lotus. So immediately that begins to get crumpled in, and the wheel sort of like gets backed in a bit more. So knock off 2 immediately. Let's see what else they do.
Swell.
Okay.
And just to clarify, once the results occur here, I get the option to either move back or take it, right?
Yeah. They rolled a 1.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they rolled a 1. So they just dig in a little bit more. Would you like to take that, or would you like to move back to second?
I think I'll just take it, honestly.
Yep.
Lotus starts bleeding a little bit from where it impacted. It doesn't really try to repair the damage this time,
Very well.
but
Then.
it is going to still keep going.
Very well then. In that case, we come to our final racer. Hyperspeed. Claddy has just rammed Kosh in front of you. Didn't seem to do too much damage because Kosh is still holding the lead and they're just about to get in front of the finish line. You're pretty sure their first is very much dignified and correct. It's now up to you and what you want to do. You could just try and simply overtake, you could try to slam them, or you could just try to hold your position. That's all you can do right now. This is your final moment. What would you like to do?
Seeing Bloody ram into Kosh angers Hyperspeed,
Mm-hmm.
and he almost decides to go and ram into Platty for that. So he remembers what Kosh said to him. And he decides to hold his spot.
Alright, just gonna hold. No overtakes, no nothing.
Yes.
Right, in that
He's
case,
happy
roll.
somebody listens to him.
Yeah, in that case, roll your weight. I'm gonna say this, depending on how good you do on here, is gonna depend on what the other racer behind you does. There's still one more person behind you. Okay. But this racer was going to just try and, you know, overtake you. Here's what happens. Roll again.
Oh.
I'm sorry, roll again.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine, because they rolled a 1.
Oh.
God, fucking hell, I was fucking... Okay, so here's what happens.
Yeah, where was all this luck when I was Shintar a couple days ago?
Yeah, I know, fuck!
Right?
Yeah, shit. Okay, so here's what happens here. You feel the rage bubble inside you, and you remember that moment of locking eyes with Platy, and you begin to feel braver, and you feel like, you know, I probably could do this, I could do this, like, I know I can do this. But that small voice in your head of, gosh, just giving you a bit of wisdom of, don't be a fucking idiot. You've got a position here that's good. Don't waste it. So you begin to hold it, and begin to get ready to just sail across the racing line. Until you begin to feel yourself get slightly knocked off course, and you sort of turn around and you see another racer who is very much trying to edge by you. Now, you could slam them, like you could attempt to slam on them if you want to, but you could also just stop them, is the thing. It's up to you. What would you like to do?
I'm just stopping them.
Okay. You're just gonna stop them. Basically, as they try to edge by you, you just accelerate a tiny bit more and then get in front of them and slow down a tiny bit. Just to gently push them back. Their car is...
Oh, you're brake checking him.
Yeah. You're not doing like a full brake check, though. You're like slowly brake checking them. So like pushing them back a bit more so then you can accelerate, because your car is faster than theirs. So you push them back a bit more, then you go vroom, as you get across the finish line. So, with that, let me go ahead and read out our positions, shall we? So, reaching the podium, we have 3 familiar faces, almost like a trio of rivalry by this point. Almost like the 3 Musketeers. However, this time is a bit different. In first place, we have Kosh. They take the tallest podium and get a big old trophy and a bottle of champagne for it, which you know what you're going to do with. In second place, we have Platty. Yet again, just squeaking out in front of Hyperspeed. And they stand right by the side of you. Then we have Hyperspeed in third. Still by no means something to scoff at, because they were one of the lucky 3. But I'll tell you this much. at the end of this race, there was only a 14th position. About 6 racers were knocked out, 2 of them killed. It was, by all means, a rough and bloody race. And you've got to wonder, you know, the league wanted to have a race that perhaps brings a bit more attention to what can happen inside of a race. Like, this is more than usual. You know, maybe you get like 2 or 3 people knocked out, rarely someone killed. This was a lot more bloody than usual. But, you know, for now, you all are in podium positions. And you were able to successfully retire a racer for a long time. So, let us get to the points. Let me also go ahead and change the music up a bit here, because it's showtime, baby. Right.
Prakash
Yep, go ahead.
just sort of hovers there, and his eyes are like a blood red. Like, usually it's just sort of like that light white, you know, off-white glow type of sort of thing.
Yeah.
He is fucking fuming at the
Mhm.
car that he was driving, because this was not what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, if,
Mhm.
yeah, just to sort of help illustrate the imagery here.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought standing there, like, I don't know if it's even possible, like, maybe, like, even shaking in anger. Like, usually the cars are, like, sort of behind you in positions as well, but
Mhm.
the cars are just behind you, is effectively generally the sort of look about how they they want to have a very good picture moment. So, very much the Lotus is behind you, and is very much perceptive of your feelings right now. But, let me say this. So, for first position, you get 15 volts and 4,000 crits. Oh, also, sorry, I just remembered as well. How many times was a slam initiated for you, Kosh? You roughly remember how many?
2. I believe it was 2 of them.
Okay, you got 2 slams. Roll me 2 d6s if you could as well.
And how
Well,
many
physical-
crits did I get again?
You get 4,000. So
4,000.
15
Nice.
volts, 4,000 crits. Because you just need to roll 2d6 to see if your banner stays on. Well, that was a pretty rough race.
Okay. And just roll a straight 2d6 then, or?
Yeah, just roll 2d6. I can see the results each, so it's all good.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
It gets a bit shaky, but your sign's still on. You still see the smug grin of Bumper saying, "Catch a race!" on it. So, that is still very much on. So, you know, if you want a bit of a discount when you want to get an upgrade, you most certainly can. Also, if you want to share the wealth, most
that's
certainly can as
nice.
well. But, for second place, Platinum will be getting 14 volts as well. They have a bit of pocket money saved up as well, so we'll see how they go with races in the future. That is becoming formidable, I gotta say. And in third place, Hyperspeed, you get 13 volts and 3,600 crits.
Nice.
Yep, so make a note of that and make sure that is invested and ready. Out of curiosity as well,
How many
what are-
volts did I get?
you got 13 volts. And then 3,600 crits. So, just out of curiosity as well, how's your integrities going?
I have 6 still.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Very well.
I'm straight down to 3 out of 9, my dude.
Oh, alrighty. Well, don't worry, this is gonna be a good thing for you, since, Hyperspeed, how many slams did you do?
I believe 1.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Remember, this is a photo op, which means that you get a little keepsake. Not only do you get the first ever edition of the slam that you did, which is effectively a holographic card of the exact moment you're grinding Platyplax against the wall. So feel free to, you know, capture this if you want to. And, gosh, you got 2 slams, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so just confirm, you, Hyper, get 500 crits for this, because you just got 1 slam. That is very solid. Kosh, you're a bit special in this, because you got a slam, and also, you also got the moment where you effectively pop someone like a can off the track, forcing a retirement. You get a whopping 2,000 extra crits, because if you cause someone to retire from a slam, that is 1,500. So it's a 500 plus a 1,500, so that is very much going to help you out a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So you get now a reminder of the moment that you did that. You know, you get first editions for all of these. So you get a first edition for each slam that you did. So, you know, if you just want to have a nice little memento of your times, you certainly get that.
So, if anyone ever tries to look at these images, you'll notice that everywhere where Kosh is supposed to be, it seems to be some sort of odd, distorted text. And if you try to look at it for long enough, you start to get a headache.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Like, you sort of, like, I guess, due to maybe some of your own finagling, as you sort of notice these first editions, like, for a lot of people it might be, maybe just a bit glitchy, but you probably know that you did something to them that you don't want to see yourself in it. Yeah.
They would not be ready.
Indeed. But to all the other ones being sold, they are very much the case that they can be seen. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, those are your values done in values of credits. Now then, you will eventually be teleported back. But is there anything you want to talk about before you get back to the hangar and deal with Mortimer?
Nope. Kosh is
Alright.
silent.
Very well then.
Unless Hyperspeed needs to talk to me about something.
No, hyperspeed is silent.
Alrighty. Well, that being said and done, and once you're all obviously off your podiums, you are all teleported back to the hangar with a very jubilant Mortimer Tansen. Last time he brought, you know, beers and things like that. This time he's bringing what can only really be described as an unholy amalgamation of the highest proof alcohols that you can see. Effectively, a refined dirty pint of just everything. He's been on the slosh
That actually
quite a
sounds
bit.
awesome.
Yeah, he's been on the slosh quite a bit. This is like an official drink. You've got basically at least 6 different alcohols in this as like a very different cocktail. And he has been probably having like 2 or 3 of these at a time, and he's just brought these down like, fellas, it's good to see you. Yeah, take some of these. I'll chat to all of you later. I'm gonna go sit down and talk to sponsors later. But great job. Great job. Get yourself healed up. Watch out, because gosh, one of the people you slammed off, oh boy, are they mad. Oh, damn, you should have seen the look on their face. Anyway, see ya. And Tansen leaves you. Like, they are very much living in the moment. But, you know, they are very happy and contented right now. They leave you with that and they begin to walk off. And it leaves you in the hangar. You've got many people just watching and surrounding the area. The hangars are usually very much more for, you know, the racers. So you don't get fans and such, but you get obviously other staff teams and things like that all looking around you. You get different members from different teams. They often go around trying to look at different people. So as you're sort of all getting ready to get done with your cars, is there anything you'd like to do immediately with your cars, or?
Yep. Kosh is going to hover over to the Lotus. Several tendrils are going to pry into where you can only assume its nerve cluster is. And there seems to be things happening that, frankly, no human can describe. And then the Lotus simply falls silent.
Yeah.
And then springs back to life.
Already. Fair enough. And I suppose that once you're done with this as well, the repair bots start to come in. Before they come in though, out of curiosity, would anyone like to spend any volts to improve them a bit? Because if I do check my notes really quickly, I did say at some point a certain amount of volts could be used to upgrade these bots a bit.
How many did you say?
Let me double check really quick. I had it written down somewhere. I just cannot remember for the life of me where. Oh fuck, where did I put it? Fuck's sake. 15. If you want to pull together 15 volts, you could permanently increase the bots to give you a +1 repair. So you usually roll a +3, sorry, a 1d3. And so that's just like a flat 1d3 to get a few extra integrity points ready. If you want to invest 15 volts, this can come from either of you or just one of you. I'd be willing to give you all a +1 on your future rolls. It's up to you if you want to fork out the money for that.
I think I'm gonna sit on them for now and kind of wait to see what else I can do with these first.
Yep, sure, fair
Yeah.
enough. Alrighty, in that case then the bots are going to start beginning their repairs. Can you roll a 1d3 for me?
Alright.
Just anyone here. Who would like to roll?
Syntax, you know.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Repair your cars by 2. So, the repair bots aren't too bad at their jobs this time. Last time they were a bit crap, but, they get a fair bit of repairing in. Obviously with the loads they have to take a bit of a slightly different measure when they're doing it, but either way, sparks still fly, but at the end of the day, your cars are looking a bit better for wear. As you're sort of repairing, could I have someone roll a chaos check? Was that you're all just sort of sitting around now, just taking a look around, really, just soaking in the sights, you know, and the sound, so to speak, as the hangar is now alive with the commotion of an after-race deal.
No one else here? Alright. Chaos
You
check.
wanna roll it. Yep, just roll a chaos check. See if you succeed. That's a critical success, okay.
Damn, okay.
It's
Yeah, no, you got a critical success there. Like, this isn't usually your thing, but as you're sort of just looking around, you instinctively begin to catch on to some raised voices in the hangar. Usually it would just be that and that you wouldn't know, but you know, funnily enough, that this is the voice of Platty being raised. And they are livid. They begin, like, you catch onto a few little points like, I'm going to fucking murder them. I will destroy them. They took them from me. They will perish. And you sort of catch on to these few little bits as, like, you're trying to listen in. You don't know which team it is, but you catch on to these few little bits, and you can make of that as you will, but you hear a few names of your teammates thrown around a few times.
Okay. Kosh would sort of like to if that's actually possible at all, Kosh is going to sort of kind of teleport behind Platty, sort of in the style of nothing personal, kid. And he's just sort of going to stare down on him.
It's gonna be hard to teleport, I would say.
Or not teleport, but just sort of like hover over very quietly, because obviously he's going to be too distracted to notice this semi-ethereal being moving, so...
Yeah, like, I will say as well, this is somewhere over the other end of the hangar. Like, the hangar is a massive building. It's not really easy to actually find this all, so you just know it's somewhere over there that you hear this disjointed voice of Platty. You don't hear, like, the weirdness of it, but you hear them just shouting very plain and clearly, I will fucking murder them. But would you like to try and find them?
I think I would like to try and find them.
Alright, fair enough, and roll a fury check.
Another straight 1d6, got it.
Yep, 1d6. That is another crit, okay. It does not take you much time to get there, because, you know, even though the hangar is large, you move with purpose, and you immediately can lock onto that voice. You've heard it before. And we can moving and swaying around a few different areas, and I'm going to give you the option here to either make yourself known or be hidden as I give you this information. What would you like?
I think I'm going to start by being hidden.
Right, perfect. Well, I'll say this much. You begin to go over to one of the teams. The team you actually go to is a team you're not really familiar with, but it's a name known as a Hyenas. They're a team that has a not really that much of a uniform color when it comes to suits, but it's more of a khaki kind of color when it as a general theming. They have a decently sized booth. It's much larger than yours, but like you sort of see Platty being held back by multiple other members as they're trying to get over to your area, like tears streaming down their face. And they seem to be holding like a small scrap of something, like maybe like a picture or something, but they're trying to get by and get out of their booth, and they're trying to hold him back. They don't see you, obviously, but like it seems to be that you now know what team he actually works for, and you now know where in the hangar he probably is, and where he probably will be for a while.
I think Kosh probably killed his mate or his friend or something.
Never know.
I think that's probably what happened. Because
You never
I'm just
know.
trying to figure out what the hell are you screaming on about? So
Yeah.
it is at
I
this
mean-
moment Kosh wishes to confirm that by go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, don't worry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say Kosh is going to confirm this by making himself known.
Um.
All he's going to do is just sort. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're just gonna like make yourself known, like stand out in front, just so they can see you.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just going to
Alright.
sort of hover there ominously.
He stops and locks eyes with you. A deep hatred is only what you can tell, and a conniving thought. Like, because of the fact you rolled a crit like 2 times in a row, like, they've stopped, but that's not out of their own self-control. Something has stopped them. Because they would have come out for you. But,
The only.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to say, like,
the only.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Just go, man. I'm basing this off of what you're telling me. So.
Alright, gotcha, yeah. Like, you know, you've seen it before. Very emotional, calm. Very emotional, calm. For the entirety of the race, he was pretty calm, yet right now, outside of it, he is quite emotional. And you don't hear any distortion in his voice. But you can very clearly guess what happened, because you sort of take a look over to the collectible stand, and you take a look through the incident that you had, whilst yours is very much redacted, effectively. You see the colours on the car that you struck down. Like, they're very much a mix of, like, camo, khaki kind of colours. You can't see the person inside, but it's effectively the same colour scheme of this team. Like, whilst Platy rolls with a charcoal kind of colour, it appears that this person was maybe much more closer tied to the team, maybe much more, like, closer to generally what it was about. But you can very much assume that they were probably in the same team. And Platy is just locking eyes with you with pure hatred, and then a smirk, as they begin to walk away. Unnaturally so.
Kosh simply approaches him and simply leaves him with,
The avalanche has already fallen. It is too late for the pebbles to vote.
and he hovers away.
Mm-hmm. Platy is not paying attention right now. They are walking to one of the back rooms of the hangar, actually. Probably one, like, in the... So, I guess just to sort of explain, like, their sort of hangar, I would imagine, is the larger area for their cars, where you can see his car. It's already pretty badly dinged up, and there's a few, like... And there's a door going into, like, a back room area, which you can assume is maybe a bit more of an admin kind of area, which you think Mortimer was trying to emulate with his. But he does hear you, and it sort of makes him twitch his head a bit as he continues to try and walk into somewhere where he can't see you. And the door shuts.
Mhm. I return to the Lotus.
Very well. Hivespeed, anything you would like to do during this point?
I'm not sure.
I mean, just for the hell of it as well, could you give me a chaos check?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Give me a roll.
2.
Oh, okay. It's not a crit, but it's still a success. You're sort of looking around yourself as, like, robots are repairing, and you see a familiar figure in a very high-vis vest. They're just sort of sitting in the corner, and whilst before they were quite frantic, with this one they're more just downtrodden, effectively. And they're holding one of the collectible cards in their hands. They're just sort of looking at it. Over and over. We've taken just a few sips from the hip flask every now and then. They sort of look towards that team as well, the hyenas, and just keep looking. They just do a few looks every now and then.
A little petrified. Sure what to do.
They're not like trying to look at you or anything, they're looking at the hyenas now. And then just, you know, taking a look at what's in their hands, looking back, seeing some of the dismay on what was probably one of the League's brutalist races.
I'm too to approach, so I leave.
Fair enough then. you sort of leave, Kosh, is there anything you would like to do?
I'm just kind of observing hyperspeed from my car at this point.
Fair enough. I'd say as well at some point,
Might-
unless there's any... Oh, go ahead.
You may or may not hear some strange angelic voices in your head for just, if nothing more than a moment. But it's not enough for you to, like, you know, decipher anything. You notice that there might be something there, but it doesn't seem to really say anything.
Also as well, if you guys would like to maybe take it to a later stage in the hangar when things are cleared out, I'm more than happy for that too. Just let me know if there's anything else you want to do before maybe you think about getting some upgrades or pursuing other means of getting leads.
Yeah, probably going to visit the garage that I accepted the sponsorship for, or you know, that sign or whatever.
Yeah, gotcha.
Speaking of which, the sign basically has veins growing in it now, so it's pretty much no longer its own thing, but it can still be ejected if I get hit hard enough. So
yeah, exactly. It's still a connection to it, so it's obviously not going to change that. But yeah, it's very much been slightly altered, if anything, more just in color, but it's still very much the same message. It's not very susceptible to many people except those that know that that's the sign they have, really. But yeah, I guess with that as well, I will change to Hyper really quick. Since Hyper, you left the hangar, is there anything you would like to do? Would you like to go to a market, maybe pursue something? Or what would you like to do?
Little confused on what I can do with my currency again.
Okay, yeah. So put it this way, crits are just a general use currency. Like, let's say you wanted to bribe someone some information or anything like that. That can be used for that sort of thing. If you want to maybe pay someone to find out some info for you, or you just want to, you know, pay for the sake of flavor or anything like that, you'd probably use crits for that. Vaults are used more for vehicle upgrades, so that way you can actually get your vehicle to perform better for you. Those would probably go to a mechanic, so it's up to you in how you want to do things. But basically, anything you might want to do, anything you might want to interact with, whether it be, you know, legal or illegal, is completely up to you. I will obviously remind you, still have yet to really find anyone who could trade in illegal mods, and whilst you could try to craft your own ones will always be more visible than ones you either got commissioned or paid for.
Okay. I guess I'll go and walk around the market and look for a mechanic.
Alrighty, fair enough. Anyone in particular looking for, or are you just trying to find anyone?
Just anyone, really.
Okay, fair enough. Tell you what, roll me a d6, just out of curiosity. I want to see if you get pretty decent or, yeah, kind of quality. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not bad, that's not bad. Right. You sort of peruse around a bit, and you take a look around for some more people, and you see one of the shops that's actually pretty well kept. It's a large open front where you see cars being worked on, and it looks to be a pretty reputable mechanic. You don't see any clear branding on it or anything like that. You just sort of see that it's a very clean white building. But that is very much open and ready, and almost inviting actually, because a lot of the market area is a bit more dirty, but this one stands out.
Alright.
Yep. If you want to head in, you can very easily see the mechanics working. You see someone at reception desk ready. You'd probably say a younger sort of alien race. One of the things you probably notice about them is that they've got very deep blue skin with a almost like how do I describe it? It's almost as though their eyes are positioned below their mouth in a strange tendril-like way. But they also don't really seem to have a nose, so it's a very large amount of effectively forehead with a very crushed up mouth. It's almost like something you'd find in Spore. But they're still very much a humanoid. And they sort of just like eye you down a bit and wait for you to really engage in a conversation.
Hello?
Hey, what can I get you?
I'm looking to upgrade my car.
Okay, right, champ. Let's see what we got here, shall we? One moment. Can I get your name?
Hyperspeed.
Alright, gotcha. Hey, Johnny! Do we know a hyperspeed? No? You sure? Okay. You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Alright, no problem. Right, okay. These are your services. Basically, as you might notice, we are the Nameless Ones. We're a bit of a nameless mechanic sort of organization. We like to just, not feel like we need to represent ourselves. Our work does what we need. So, we basically ask for the average price of everyone, really. 15 volts, we'll get your card done overnight, and it should be good for any race you got. So, what do you think?
That sounds okay.
Alright, gotcha. Well, I'm mostly not the key mechanic for us. We got 2 mechanics to deal with our more integrity-based upgrading, as well as our, more speed-based upgrading. Gotta ask as well, is your vehicle in good nick, or is it a bit beat up?
It's in good condition.
Alright, gotcha. Now, when you say good condition, I gotta check it. Is there any damage?
I don't think so.
Alright, cool. Well, if there is extra damage, we just might need to bill you for it, is the key thing. Just make sure it's up to full integrity kind of thing. Right. Okay, fair enough. What would you like done?
I would like my car to be a little safer.
Safer. Okay, so you're looking for a bit more, armor plating on it? Make sure things a bit more, stuck down and ready, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because, did you see the race today? A lot of fucking people died there. They actually found out one of the guys that got retired, they died from injuries later. It was fucked. Yeah, that's 3 people. But, guess that's what happens when you're in this racing league. It's not a lifestyle, it's a death style, as they say. I hate that fucking saying. Alright, yeah, sure. We can get you some armor plates on there. We can take it out by a point, but it's gonna cost you 15 volts. What do you think?
Yeah, that's okay.
Alright, hey, Tony! Tony! Yeah, defensive! Is that one stay safe? What do you mean you're busy? Fuck you! Alright. Johnny! Johnny? Vicky! Fucking someone! Right, Tiberius! I'll get someone eventually, don't worry. Hold on, I don't know exactly who. I'm gonna hate this. Steven!
Immediately you hear steps just running down immediately. You see a very large figure. They are very clearly humanoid, but the humanoid of this is effectively 2 times the scale of anyone else. They are 12 foot, and they are not just, they're not fat, they are large. They are an incredibly large human. One may say a huge man. And he just eyes both you and the receptionist.
Yeah, Steven, can you do the integrity upgrade here? This guy's gonna teleport his car in. I'll get it in for you. I'll put it into Dock 5.
Steven just sort of nods and prepares to go to Dock 5. And, yeah, after they sort of go, the receptionist turns
back. Oh god, I always hate doing that guy. I don't know what he's thinking, But hey, he's a good mechanic. We've got a few mechanics on each thing, so he'll get your job done. You need anything else here, or are you pretty good?
No, that's okay.
Alright, gotcha. Yeah, aside from that, stay safe. Try not to use the illegal mods. We won't know anything about that, don't you worry. Have a good time.
Okay.
And with that, you sort of pass over the information for the cars, that way they can actually get it all repaired and everything sorted. They'll teleport it overnight and they'll have Steven work on it. If there's anything else you would like to look for, feel free. Also, please do mark off 15 volts on your cards and give yourself a 1 to weight. So then you'll be adding a +1 to your max integrity. And if you do need to, do any repairs, that will also be taken out as you go. But, yeah, okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Since I will also remind you, you do have crits, so if there's anything else a bit more unusual you want to do or find out some information for, do let me know.
I'm not really sure what I would want to do, so not
Fair
really.
enough then. Yeah, so it's like, I would just like say, for example, like you could perhaps pay for information to find out something about a racer, you could pay to maybe find out about illegal modifications, you could maybe just go to some bars, maybe even try and gamble some bits away, like it's up to you.
There's gambling?
Yeah, it's a very simple gambling system.
Okay, well, I won't do it right now.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you can if you want to.
Right now.
Okay, fair enough. I guess with that, with you being done with some of your stuff, Kosh, anything you'd like to do?
I'm gonna go ahead and visit the garage that I had some dealings with.
Oh right, yeah,
Or-
bumpers. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. You sort of begin to head over. You do notice that this time there seems to be a few more people around, as maybe the sign did actually help after all. But then you sort of notice that the people there are mildly angry. But you sort of like just push them through a bit. They're sort of just like looking around, like, you know, having a few complaints, and Bumper's like just sort of there, like trying to talk to all of them. Like, yeah, no, I understand. It's just I'm very busy right now. There's a bunch of people here, and I'm really sorry. I'm trying to get to work on this. I need more people. Kosh, hey, it's this guy. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You doing good? Hey.
Free. That's the moment.
Sorry, what was that? Hold on, I got a bit of grease in my ear. Hold on. They sort of begin to hit their head, and you just notice, like, dark ichor start to come out of their ear. They are covered in grease. They have oil everywhere, and they are tired. Yeah, sorry, what was that?
It seems the sign was successful.
Oh, yeah. it was really successful. I'm gonna need to hire a lot more people. Yeah, I want a bit of bumper. Yeah. Anyway, here, let's chat in my office. Yeah, follow me. Maybe we can gesture you up the stairs a bit, just to sort of get away from people. Do you
Alright,
follow?
I follow you.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, fuck. I've been working for about 20 hours straight. Oh. Right. Okay. What would you like, huh?
To enhance the speed of my vehicle.
Right, okay, bit of acceleration too, yeah. Okay. Audio acceleration is already pretty strong, so it's gonna cost a bit more than your last upgrade, but it's still not gonna be as expensive as many other people because, you know, we got a deal going on where, you know, get a couple of volts off that. Usually it'd run you like 18, but I'm willing to do it for 16 if that's okay.
Sufficient.
Alright, great. Sweet, that's such a much easier deal. Holy shit. Like, there's a bunch of people out here trying to, like, you know, get different, like, colors on their car. Like, one of them wants this weird pink humanoid painted on their car with, like, you know, pink hair and shit like that. It is out for their favorite racer, and it's a pain. It's... Oh, I'm not
You
an
kind of
artist,
see,
man.
you kind of see half of Kosh's eyes sort of, you know, squinting. He's kind of tilting his head, like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, like, artistic details, man. Like, they want a bunch of it. Like, racers are now really coming in. Now there's, like, superstitious shit. I'm getting some weird people come through about, you know, like, just having their cars have good luck. Like, it's a car. It's not gonna have luck. It's a being. Alright, go ahead.
So Kosh is thinking about the proposal you gave him.
I only have 15 volts.
15,
It's
okay.
enough to conduct the enhancements.
Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. Just, you know, you owe me or something, okay? You know, just a little favor, yeah?
Elaborate.
Put it this way, it's nothing gonna be major, just maybe, I don't know, you just put in a good word for me with your sponsors and shit like that, like, just say, hey, you know, there's a bumper guy, or if you want to give him a mechanic, yeah, actually, if you can find a decent mechanic, or someone who's competent, yeah, like, I'll do the upgrade now, it's fine, I just need a helping hand, if you can find someone who's competent and, you know, maybe reach out, that'd be great. Like, there's a few people just, like, sitting around ready for a job, but it's finding a good one, you know, and I don't have a time right now.
If you indicated that you were looking for help, Same as the insignia you placed upon my vehicle.
Yeah, okay. Right, yeah, okay, yeah. We'll talk more about it later. Yeah, no, I'll get your upgrade done. It's fine. 15 volts are fine for now. Yeah, okay. We can talk about favor, a bit more detail. Okay. I want to take 5 minutes.
I'll conduct the favor.
Yeah, okay. Great. I need like 5 minutes. Like, okay, I'll get to your upgrade soon. Like, I'll shut down the entire shop, just get it done to give me some peace and quiet, because I can't fucking take any more painting or anything like that. Wow. Okay. Anyway, hopefully you're doing well, or sorry for race. It was a nasty one, wasn't it? Real bad shit going on.
Tosh just sort of like squints, looks down, and doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
The tension in the room drastically changes as he's thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it doesn't mean much, but it's always bad when it happens. That's all I was gonna say. Just, bad when it happens, but, try not to let it eat you alive. Too many people do that, and, you seem like a good guy. I think you're good. Yeah.
Secret to the Ethereans.
Yeah. Anyway, forget I said anything. Yeah. Sorry, I'm very tired. Have a good night. I'll get going. Don't worry. Take it easy. Yeah, I'll shut the store when you come. If anyone asks, just say I'm asleep or dead. Nah, not dead. Alright, I still need to be alive. Or just say I'm asleep. Yeah.
Yes.
Have a good one.
We will reconvene tomorrow.
Yes.
At the hour of slavery.
Yes, that would be great. I'll see you later, Gosh. And they sort of begin to lead you out, and they sort of shut up the store. And
Nod
a
my
bunch
head
of people,
and walk out.
yeah, a lot of people trying to clamor for attention, and he just shouts, "We're fucking closed!" and just slams it down. And with that, Bumpers is closed for the night. Anything else you'd like to do?
Well, for one thing, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the sign that they have up on Bumpers.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the common area and a sort of like a tablet of sorts. It's sort of like some sort of stone tablet with like a series of symbols on it.
Yeah.
It looks like it was compiled together from some strange bronze-colored sedimentary rock.
Okay.
It doesn't appear to have emerged from any compartment within my encounter suit.
Right.
I then attach the tablet to like a commons board.
Okay.
And the symbols rewrite themselves into like the logo of Bumpers with like a help wanted sign.
Oh, right, yeah.
And people around kind of start to notice it more, almost as though they were being compelled to look at it.
Okay. Hey, well, give me a roll if you want to. Sorry, just see how well this goes. Give me a theory roll, and if you can see your reputation helping, you most certainly can, as you are the first position racer.
I would like to immediately use my reputation for this, yes.
Yeah, well, in that case, roll with advantage. Tell me how you being number one helps out here.
So would that just be a 2d6 then?
Yep, 2d6, and just make sure you roll right. Yep, okay, you do most certainly do it. Tell me, okay, so yeah, you turn a few heads, and there's a lot of people looking. Are you looking for anyone in particular looking, or are you just waiting for someone to maybe inquire themselves?
The resonance within the tablet sort of, catches the attention of people that have higher neural activity, implying that we're looking for skilled mechanics.
Right,
so
okay.
people that probably don't give as much of a shit about, mechanical aspects of things probably wouldn't notice it as strongly.
Right, gotcha. Fair enough.
This implies that Ethereans have been around humans and other sentients before.
Yeah, exactly. So you probably know about, what to really do to appeal to them. I'd say you shouldn't really roll a crit, but there is like sort of one person that is particularly looking, like sort of like shuffles around a bit and pulls up their own device and sort of just takes a look and is like, They seem interested, definitely. So, you might have helped out here.
Well, Kosh will take some gratification from that.
Yeah,
Just looking to help out a small business is all.
exactly.
You know,
Small business
lower
fund.
beings interest him, so
Exactly. Anything else you'd like to do?
that's going to be about it. I'm just going to go back to my hotel room and, yeah.
Alrighty, fair. Is there anything else anyone would like to do? Because we're probably getting close to our closing elements here, and, yeah, anything else at all?
No, I think I'm good.
Alrighty, fair enough.
Okay. So, what Kosh is going to do next is he's going to leave a key to his room in Hyperspeed's room, implying that he's welcome in there if need be. But if he ever walks into his room, you're not going to see the being, just an empty encounter suit.
Alright.
And that's about it for me.
Alrighty, fair. I'll then give us a bit of a wrap up, shall we? As all of you begin to settle in for the night, obviously you're in not exactly your best hotel, but it's still not a bad one by any means. You know, you get what you need to relax, and you'll start to relax and try to think about the day, try to maybe shrug it off a bit, depending on how you really feel like it went. However, with you, Kosh, you cannot but remember that it's all driven from your mind a bit because you have plenty to deal with, but that one time you overtook someone, that voice that came through, that deep, like, broken up cursing, that,
Yeah.
you don't think it was through the Lotus. You try to remember it now, but it's tough. Roll me a chaos check.
Yeah, and if you're willing to indulge me, I just want to kind of see if it feels familiar
Mm-hmm.
more than anything.
Okay. You try to hone in on that and think a bit more, because you're having to use instinct for this, because it doesn't feel familiar. There's many alien things in this universe, but that technology was, like, it had to be some form of technology, because it couldn't have just been an organic being being able to get into your own sensory systems, but, like, it was something else. Something different. And as you try to focus in a bit more, you hear it slightly. Like, very faint, like a mild tinnitus. Just the slow... just slowly aching in there, and you try to get a bit of rest and a bit of respite, but you just can't quite shake that. You don't know what it is. For the first time, it's somewhat new. Whether that's exciting or terrifying is up to you, but it isn't hurting you. But you are at least considering that race that you went by, and who knows, maybe it's a bit more similar than you thought. But we'll leave that for another time. For now, I think we should probably end off here. Leave it on a little cliffhanger, eh?
Fine with me.
Yeah, alrighty. Yeah, in that case, I guess we'll be ending now. Hopefully you enjoyed. Sorry if I'm very rusty. I did my best. But yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, I had a great time. I'm pretty rusty too, as far as it goes.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, no. I think we're all a bit rusty since, like, as I sort of mentioned, like, we haven't done this in, like, what, like, a few months at least. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but you know, it was fun to get back into it. Oh god damn it. But yeah, anyway, with that also being done, let me actually just go ahead and do it now, because obviously Hyperspeed, you upgraded your stuff and things. So let me go ahead and upgrade that on the actual sheet over here. Because I always forget to upgrade this shit. So your weight is now a 1. That means your max integrity is now a bit higher. I also do just want to mention as well, obviously keep a track of your integrity, since it's not max, you're going to be going to a race with non-max integrity. So,
I think it is max.
Okay, it is. Perfect, good. Yep, well, you can just double check that afterwards, and if you want to just spend in a few volts just to make sure it is max, you most certainly can. Also, Kosh, you want to go faster, so I will mark that down on yours as well. You are getting quite strong with this, interesting, you know? Maybe we need to give some interesting rogue factors soon. And maybe they're only just starting to seep in. Because, put it this way, if this is your second race, you're starting to get the hang of this. We have other races in the tracks, and as you notice, I might have mentioned a few of them in your own areas, and who knows if you meet with your own paths in the future. Perhaps you'll be racing against each other one day, and perhaps they'll be trying to take you down. Well, hey, as you get more notoriety, you never know what happens.
That's interesting, but also terrifying.
Yeah. Don't worry,
Yeah.
that might be for the future, but hey, that's why we want to make sure people have plenty of time to actually, improve their cars, make sure it's spec to how they like it to, so that way they can deal with problems as they come. But for now then, we will probably be leaving it off here. Thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, hopefully this was mildly enjoyable to watch. We'll get this uploaded onto YouTube soon, and let's even get a few other teams through, because we still have Phenar and Paradoxical to get to. I also have a bunch of other shit to do, but yeah, thank you everyone for playing, and see you all later.
Be seeing ya.